Chapter 1227. The Blessing from 100 Years Ago. After their talk ended, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he moved even faster. The 6 ancient god stars between his eyebrows rotated rapidly and ancient god energy filled his body. His body immediately grew into an ancient god thousands of feet tall. Wang Lin let out a roar at the sky and waved his huge fist. As the ring finger closed in, he grabbed the trident and swept at the ring finger. Wang Lin's body trembled violently. Even with his ancient god body, he felt like his body was going to collapse. He borrowed this force and pulled out the trident. The ring finger trembled from Wang Lin's kick. However, it didn't stop charging at Wang Lin. Thunderous rumbles echoed and Wang Lin had a ferocious expression. He had already used his spells, treasures, and law, but he was still inside the palm. It seemed like no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't escape Blue Dream Dao Master's palm. However, this was not enough to make him yield. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with madness. As the ring finger descended, Wang Lin charged up and attacked it like crazy. Ancient god power was contained within in each one of his attacks. Even a cultivation planet would have collapsed from this bombardment, but the ring finger continued to descend. It seemed to want to crush Wang Lin to death. The thunderous rumbles echoed nonstop and Wang Lin let out a roar. He was an ancient god, but under this finger, he felt an unprecedented setback. No matter how much he attacked, he couldn't stop the ring finger from descending. Even the most powerful finger, the thumb, was slowly descending. What made Wang Lin feel even more bitter was that the 3 broken fingers were absorbing origin energy like crazy and quickly recovering. It seemed like it wouldn't take long for the 3 fingers he had poured all his effort into breaking to reappear. Could this 7-colored realm be my grave? I refused to give in. Wang Lin's eyes were red like a ghost's as he continued to bombard the finger. He clenched his teeth and let out a roar. The blurry 6th star among the 6 rotating stars between his eyebrows gave off a crazy amount of ancient god energy. This energy was so heaven-shaking that even the ring finger trembled slightly. Star shatter! After Wang Lin had become an ancient god, he had encountered countless dangers, but this was the first time he had chosen to shatter a star. As he roared, the 6th star between his eyebrows suddenly collapsed. The power of the shattered star turned into a storm and was absorbed by Wang Lin like crazy. The ancient god energy surged through his body, causing his body to expand. Soon, a 20,000-foot-tall giant appeared inside the palm. Borrowing the shattered star, Wang Lin's ancient god body reached the level of a 7-star royal ancient god. Wang Lin let out a roar as he rushed forward. Even the earth trembled. A crazy aura surrounded Wang Lin as he charged at the ring finger. He was already prepared to shatter 5 stars in a row. Today's battle would be the most difficult battle in his life. In this battle, his body would collapse, his origin soul would dissipate, and his Tao would completely scatter. His nearly 2,000 years of cultivator would disappear. There would be thousands of people in the cultivation world named Wang Lin, but none of them would be him, or he would break the 5 fingers and successfully survive the power of their attack. Then he could walk out of the 7-colored realm that almost became his grave. The 7-colored realm would be the place where Wang Lin either succeeded or died. With this kind of madness and a lifetime of unwillingness, Wang Lin seemed to be burning himself. He borrowed the power of the shattered star to become a 7-star royal ancient god and charged at the finger. I can die. I'm not willing to die. I still haven't revived one heir. I still haven't let Pinga be reborn. I still haven't been filial to my dead parents. I still haven't finished my struggle against fate. There are still a lot of promises I haven't completed so I can die. Wang Lin closed in on the ring finger and threw a punch carrying all his unwillingness. This was a punch of a 7-star royal ancient god, a punch obtained by shattering his 6th star, and a punch filled with Wang Lin's unwillingness from almost 2,000 years of cultivation. When this punch flew out, the world changed colors, and a thunderous rumble echoed. The 3 collapsed fingers that were reforming trembled, and even the palm paused for a moment. It was as if the entire world had stopped at this moment. Wang Lin's fist instantly landed on the ring finger. The power of the shattered star exchanged for this blow entered the ring finger. Wang Lin's body immediately shrank from tens of thousands of feet to only thousands of feet tall. However, while he shrank, he sent out a blow equal to an all-out attack of a 7-star royal ancient god. Collapse for me! Wang Lin's roar was louder than the collapse of the ring finger. At this instant, the ring finger trembled violently and countless cracks appeared where Wang Lin's punch landed. The finger suddenly collapsed. Wang Lin's body was completely weak, and blood was coming out of the corner of his mouth. He let out a miserable smile and was pushed back by the collapse of the finger. At this moment, the most powerful finger, the thumb, which was comparable to the previous 4 fingers combined, arrived. If a person forms a fist, the pinky and index fingers close first, followed by the middle finger and ring finger. The last one is the thumb, and the power of the thumb is extremely strong. When it presses down, it can cause whatever is inside the center of the palm to completely shatter. Wang Lin knew that even if he shattered all his remaining stars, he wouldn't be able to escape this most powerful blow. However, he refused to just sit there and be crushed. I am a hero in both life and death. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. I, Wang Lin, have cultivated for nearly 2,000 years. If I was still immortal, I would have already been turned to dirt. So what if I die? What is there to be afraid of? Wang Lin let out a pitiful smile as his hearty voice echoed. He charged directly at the thumb. Father, mother, if there is another life, Taiju will not cultivate. I'll smile with you both for a century. C2, you and I will never be able to meet again. Senior brother Qing Shuai, junior brother was unable to save you. Waner, I am coming to accompany you. Mu Bingmei, our grudge is over. Wang Ping, our family can now reunite. Also, Li Qianmei, you love me, but my heart is dead. However, now that I'm about to die, so what if I take you with me? Wang Lin smiled as he waved his left hand, and his storage space appeared before him. The blue bracelet flew out. This bracelet gave off a bright blue light like a star, and released an inexplicable aura. The moment it appeared, it automatically flew to Wang Lin's left wrist. The blue light gave off a gentle glow that surrounded Wang Lin's body. It still seemed to contain a trace of warmth from 100 years ago, a body heat and warmth that would always exist. Being surrounded by the blue light, Wang Lin instantly closed in on the thumb. However, the moment the bracelet appeared and flashed as it flew to Wang Lin's left wrist, a voice filled with incredible shock echoed across the world. This is the ancient voice almost trembled, revealing an indescribable amount of excitement. The thumb descending quickly rose up, causing Wang Lin to rush out past it and into the horizon. This sudden scene startled Wang Lin, but he didn't hesitate. As he flew out, both his hands formed a seal. Following the memories he obtained from Master Ashen Pine, he opened a crack to return to the cloud sea. His body moved like lightning toward the crack. The moment before he disappeared, the palm formed by the 7-colored realm didn't chase, but slowly put itself down. Treat her well. The moment Wang Lin went through the crack, the tired ancient voice appeared in his mind. The voice seemed even more tired and contained a hint of complicated feelings. After Wang Lin left, the palm formed by the 7-colored realm gradually collapsed, as if the spell used to form it was slowly leaving. The ancient voice slowly dissipated. At this moment, deep within the ancient star system, there was a family named the Blue Silk Clan. This clan occupied a boundless star domain. In this star domain, there was an ordinary-looking planet with a mountain shrouded in blue light. The local mortals called it the Blue Mountain. There was a simple cottage at the top of the mountain that gently swayed in the mountain breeze. The door of the cottage was pushed open, and a tired-looking middle-aged man walked out. He looked up at the sky, and his vision blurred as if tears were coming out. His hair was blue. He looked at the sky and was filled with melancholy. If any resident of the ancient star system saw this, they would be shocked. One of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, the Blue Dream Tao Master, could have a moment where he couldn't control his emotions. The Blue Dream Tao Master was a legend in the ancient star system. The Blue Silk Clan was a small family, but due to this person, who swept across the ancient star system, the Blue Silk Clan became a giant clan no one dared to provoke. Meng our daughter has been reborn. She had your bracelet before she entered the reincarnation cycle, and it has the blessing of your Cloud Dream Clan that she inherited from you. If she hadn't personally given it away, even if someone else received the bracelet, her blessing wouldn't have appeared, the man murmured to himself, filled with reminiscence. After a long time, ripples appeared and distorted. an old man in white appeared. The moment he appeared, he immediately became very respectful. "Thou master, teacher." Just as the old man began to speak, the middle-aged man didn't even looked at the old man and interrupted him with one word: "Scram." The old man's mind trembled and he didn't dare to speak anymore. Although he was a disciple of the sovereign, against one of the 5 masters of the ancient star system, he wouldn't dare to be presumptuous. He immediately returned back into the ripples and disappeared without a trace. If that child had nothing to do with Yuer, it would have been fine, but how can I hurt someone who will bring our daughter happiness? So what if that child has the heaven-defying bead? I obtained my cultivation by myself and didn't rely on foreign objects. What does the sovereign's greed have to do with me? Also, the heaven-defying bead used to belong to the Lord of the Sealed Realm. If I am unable to open the seal, it might not necessarily be a blessing but a catastrophe. The Lord of the Sealed Realm was a prime example. As for the seal, it is difficult. It was the Lord of the Sealed Realm that opened the 9 7-colored realms, but then they were taken over by my people. I only had the power of that one palm, and after that I had to retreat. Although the sovereign has been in closed-door cultivation for tens of thousands of years, his schemes run too deep. When he made me attack, I fear there might have been another purpose. When the sovereign entered the sealed realm back then, he escaped with serious injuries. The warning that spread across the entire ancient star system makes one feel awe whenever one thinks about it. The place where the 7-colored flowers are planted has been sealed by the sovereign. Aside from the caretaker, no one else can enter it with their real body. He said it was to prevent the Tao intent from being disturbed and for the growth of the flowers to remain uninterrupted. But what is the real reason? Also, that child is not simple. His power is heaven-shaking and he possesses the body of a royal ancient god. His character is similar to mine. With his present power, he was unexpectedly able to break 4 of my fingers. Among all the juniors, even in the ancient star system, he would be considered the strongest. If he has enough time, he can definitely reach the void realms. He also has Yuer's blessing and support. I wronged Yuer in her last life, and in this life, I won't let anyone hurt her. I'll support the person she supports. Not even the sovereign can stop me. The man looked up at the sky with tears streaming down his face. The exhaustion he felt in his life came from losing his wife and the regret from the death of his daughter. Leo has a nasal inflammation and a cold again. My nose is just like a running faucet, frustrated. Chapter 1228. This old man's name is Lu Jinbiao. After a century of silence in the Cloud Sea, the great competition between all the branch sects of the rank 8 sects was about to begin. The great competition of the branch sects of the rank 8 sects that happened every 1,000 years was a festive event in the Cloud Sea. It wasn't just one rank sect. All the rank sects did this at once. The branch sects would arrive at the main sect and go through a new round of examinations. The winning sect would receive rewards and the attention of the main sect. The outstanding disciples would remain at the main sect and be groomed by the main sect. As for the losers, their status will be lowered again for the next 1,000 years until they were disbanded by the main sect. The remaining disciples would be scattered among the remaining branch sects. The origin sect had continued to fall over the countless years. This was the last opportunity, and if they remained the same, the origin sect would be dissolved by the main sect. The disciples, including Lu Yanfei and others, would be sent to the other branch sects. From then on, the origin sect would no longer exist. Then the main sect would pick disciples and form a new sect in order to ensure the amount of branch sects remained the same. The origin sect couldn't accept this, but they didn't dare to refuse. If they did, they would be wiped out. After all, the origin sect was merely a branch sect. This brutal method was used to ensure that the rank 8 sects would continue to rise in strength until one day. All their branch sects would grow to be very powerful, and they were granted the status of a rank 9 sect by the God sect. Rumor had it that the heaven-breaking sect and ghost sect both grew like this. There was a total of 5 sects in the rank region. They were the everlasting sect, the Shadow Wind sect, the Rainbow Road sect, the Answer the Heaven sect, and the Silent Soul sect. The Origin sect and the Purple Tao sect belonged to the rank 8 everlasting sect. This holy festival was not a chaotic, all-out battle. All the sects were divided into their regions, and the strongest sects of the rank 4 to 7 regions were selected. Of course, they could also challenge sects above them in rank, like 1,000 years ago when the Purple Tao sect challenged a rank 6 sect. Although they failed, there was glory in their defeat, as it caught the attention of the Rank 8 Everlasting Sect. Every single Rank 8 Sect's grand competition would have a member of a Rank 9 sect attending. If there were any disciples they liked, they would directly recruit them. Although the Rank 8 sects felt helpless, they couldn't refuse. What was fortunate and sad was that very few people caught the eye of the Rank 9 sects. In the past 100,000 years, only 3 people had caught their attention. After each Rank Sect's competition was over, they would choose 3 of the strongest disciple and began a real battle with the other Rank sects. This battle was very important. Although the Rank sects themselves couldn't personally join and the Rank sect oversaw it, this fight could show a portion of the Rank sect's true strength. A portion of this strength was a display to the Rank 9 sect. If the final victor among the Rank 8 sects could keep winning for 10,000 years, they would gain a portion of the qualifications needed to enter the rank region. Every single Rank 8 sect began preparing for such an important competition very early. The 3 people chosen for this important battle had already been set. Although they weren't brought back to the main sect, they were given the same treatment as the core disciples, and people of the main sect personally went out to teach them. After the heaven-breaking sect left the rank region, a total of 17 competitions had been carried out, with victories and defeats spread across the sects. However, 10,000 years ago, with the rise of the Silent Soul sect, they had won 9 times in a row. This was now the 18th competition since the heaven-breaking sect left. If the Silent Soul sect won again, it would only be a matter of time before they become a Rank 9 sect. The Cloud Sea Holy competition that occurred every 1,000 years was lively and would last several months. Large amounts of cities and trading grounds would be set up in the rank region. There would often be con artists that would take this opportunity to profit. Not every con artist could move as if they were fish in water during this competition, but there was one person who had succeeded many times. Each time he gained great benefits. He appeared every 1,000 years and cheated countless people. Each time he appeared, he would have a different name. The sects that were cheated would care about face and would never say it out loud. Even if they secretly investigated, they would find nothing. Also, this person would carefully select the sects he would cheat. He chose sects that were like the Origin sect, ones that were about to disband it and had no hope of winning. These kinds of sects would all be disbanded, so how could they cause any trouble for the con artist? Even if they told someone and someone believed them, in the end they would just get laughed at, so might as well not say it. The Big Dipper sect was a weak rank 5 region, and their main sect was the rank 8 Answer the Heaven sect. Their state was similar to that of the Origin sect, always ending up in last place. If they failed again, it would be difficult for them to escape the fate of being disbanded. The competition will happen in 1 month, and we will be transported to the rank region. Aside from my Big Dipper sect, the main sect has 3 more branches here. My Big Dipper sect places last every time. This time, alas, there were 3 elders sitting in the hall of the Big Dipper sect. At this moment, they were frowning, and their faces revealed helplessness and confusion, along with a trace of unwillingness. Once their sect was disbanded, although they would be moved to another branch sect, their status would plummet. They would even be ridiculed for their whole lives without any attention put on them. Shame would accompany them for the rest of their lives. One of the old men bitterly said, "The remaining 3 sects are all far more powerful than our Big Dipper sect. We have no hope at all. Unless a miracle occurs otherwise, it will be difficult." Another old man let out a sigh and looked around nostalgically. He knew that once he left, he would likely never return. It would be difficult for the Big Dipper sect to escape the fate of being disbanded. The 3 of them were silently pondering when an oppressive aura filled the room. At this moment, a sharp howl appeared between the heavens and earth. This roar immediately caused the 3 of them to raise their heads. A piece of jade broke through the protective barrier of the continent and through the roof of the building. It descended from above and arrived right in the middle of the 3 of them. An extremely powerful aura suddenly spread out from the jade and filled the hall. It spread across the entire Big Dipper sect, making the entire sect show signs of trembling. Before this aura, the 3 old men's expressions changed greatly. They stood up one by one as they stared at the jade, their minds trembling. Fear arose in their hearts as this powerful aura made them feel the power of a Nirvana Shatterer spell. At the same time, an arrogant voice came from the jade and echoed inside the hall. "Zhu Yunming, born on the Heavenly Sea continent. You began to cultivate at the age of 7 when you entered the Big Dipper sect. 200 years to reach the core formation stage and more than 600 years to reach the nascent soul stage. Now you have cultivated for thousands of years to reach the early stage of Nirvana Scryer and are the sect master of the Big Dipper sect. Luo Konggang, born on the Heavenly Sea continent. Your father is Luo Haitao, used a large amount of pills to increase your cultivation level by force and stopped at the early stage of Nirvana Scryer. Zhou Chen, you were not born on the Heavenly Sea continent, but on the continent of Zhou. You joined the Big Dipper sect midway. Now you have been stuck at the Corporo Yang stage for 735 years. Did this old man speak a single lie? Everything Senior said was correct. Senior is? The three were extremely shocked. Everything this voice had said was detailed, and some of the matters were even things they had forgotten about. But the person knew very clearly. Also, the Nirvana Shatterer aura shocked them and almost made them lose their wits. This old man's name is Liu Jinbiao. Dao name, Master Golden Tiger. Their expressions became serious, although they had never heard this name. Just a jade from him contained the aura of a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. This person also knew everything about them, which made them respect him even more. Zhu Yunming took a deep breath as he suppressed the shock in his mind and asked, Senior came here. A great disaster is upon you, and you don't even know it. 3 days ago, someone came to me with the intention to pay 60,000 origin crystals for me to take the lives of you three. After this, their expressions changed greatly. However, I have no quarrel with your Big Dipper sect. Although I need the origin crystals for alchemy, I feel reluctant to do such a thing. However, if there is no choice, then I can only take your lives. The voice gradually became gloomy and fused with the Nirvana Shatterer aura from the jade. This caused the three of them to immediately turn pale. Senior, of course this is not my will. If the three of you can take out 60,000 origin crystals or something equivalent, then not only will I not kill the three of you, I'll also help you eliminate the danger of your Big Dipper sect being dissolved. Origin crystals, the three of them were shaking and filled with panic. Although they had their doubts, the Nirvana Shatterer aura and the details about their personal lives made that doubt insignificant. We don't have that many origin crystals. This old man's time is limited. I will only give you 15 minutes to consider. If you refuse, then this old man will have to kill. If you don't have the origin crystals, you can give me something of equal value. As Liu Jinbiao was showing off his spells, there was a wild continent deep within the rank region. There was a loud bang within it, as if a powerful impact had come from underground. Countless cracks appeared, and a white-haired figure charged out from the bottom. Wang Lin fell. His face was pale and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. However, his divine sense immediately spread out and locked onto the crack under the wild continent that led to the seven-colored realm. This crack was no longer seven-colored. As Wang Lin's divine sense observed the crack, it quickly collapsed and disappeared. Seeing this, Wang Lin was filled with uncertainty before his gaze fell on the jade bracelet. The bracelet no longer gave off a blue glow. It was now emerald green again. After a long time, Wang Lin raised his head as he looked at the Cloud Sea Star system and muttered, I am back. These past few days, without wishing for likes on the VIDEO, the like button for the VIDEO has quickly fallen to 10th. Urgently wishing for your readers to flip through and see if there's a like button for the VIDEO left unpressed. Chapter 1229, Target, Wind Celestial Realm. Wang Lin's return didn't cause any commotion. The great competition was occurring in the rank region, so no one knew of his existence. After all, he was almost unknown in the Cloud Sea. Even without the festival in the rank region, no one would have known Wang Lin had returned. No one knew that his fame in the Cloud Sea was about to begin. After withdrawing his gaze, Wang Lin sat down. This wild continent was really out of the way, so very few people would come here. Wang Lin guessed that due to the competition at the main sect starting, even fewer people would be coming. While pondering, Wang Lin recalled everything that had happened in the seven-colored realm and felt regretful. 7 people went, and only I returned. When I went, I was only at the early stage of Nirvana Cleanser. And now, although Wang Lin looked exhausted, his eyes shined and he muttered, I am half a step into the Nirvana Shatterer stage. Everything Wang Lin had experienced in the seven-colored realm appeared one by one in his mind. Zhan Xingye's skeleton, Sima Moa's cave, the Vermilion Bird's third awakening, absorbing the lighting from the outer realm, the lost ones, the enlightened ones. The Tao scripture that he didn't know if it was real or fake. He almost found the all-Surest secret. He saw the imitation heaven-defying beads, and he learned of the existence of the defying ones. He had battled Master Ashen Pine and was hit by the seven-colored nail. He had battled the white-haired old man and devoured the Tao fruit. The heaven-defying bead had activated and seriously injured the flower's caretaker. Most importantly, his cultivation level had increased, and the mosquito beast had gone through a metamorphosis. He had obtained the time restriction and also the 2 swords that were stabbed into the mysterious deer remains. All of this made Wang Lin excited. 100 years had passed by quickly, and the difference this period of time made was like heaven and earth. Things often change, and there are always gains and losses in the battle against Master Ashen Pine. The iron sword that accompanied me for many years collapsed. In the battle against the Blue Dream Tao Master, the crystal sword collapsed, the battle axe collapsed, and even my ancient god furnace collapsed. Most importantly, my still fuzzy 6th star shattered. Wang Lin let out a sigh and muttered, "Fortunately, the star made of law is still there, although the fuzzy 6th star collapsed. As long as my body goes through the second trial, it can be restored. Or if there is some other opportunity. After all, I have already reached that level before, and recovering will be a lot easier than climbing up." Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and he carefully measured what he had gained and lost. He clearly knew that compared to what he lost, his gains in the trip to the 7-colored realm were far greater. His right hand waved at the void and his storage space opened. 2 dying origin souls flew out. These 2 origin souls were the 2 outer realm people with the lightning and fire tattoos. Wang Lin didn't kill their origin souls but collected them. He pressed his hand down on their origin souls and searched their memories by force. The 2 origin souls trembled and let out miserable screams. They gradually weakened until they exploded into origin energy, which was absorbed by Wang Lin to help him recover. Inside the 7-colored realm, Wang Lin had already searched the memories of the youth from the slave clan. Now that he had searched their memories as well, his understanding of the outer realm increased. His eyes lit up and he muttered, "The ancient star system, the 5 high ancient masters." While pondering, Wang Lin took out a large amount of healing pills and devoured them while his hands formed a seal before closing his eyes. Although he was healing, his divine sense was spread out. If there was a hint of trouble, he would immediately awaken. As Wang Lin healed, the origin energy of the world gradually gathered and was absorbed by him. Time slowly passed. After 3 days, Wang Lin opened his eyes. His gaze was like a lightning bolt that could pierce through the fog before him. He stood up. Although the injuries to his body had not fully healed, they wouldn't affect him in a fight. They only needed some time to heal. However, the injuries to his origin soul were very serious, and it would be difficult to recover in a short period of time. Wang Lin pondered a bit. He still felt pain in his origin soul. Even thinking about the palm from the Blue Dream Tao Master now, he was still shocked. This is the strength of the 3rd step. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Sooner or later, I'll reach that step as well. Wang Lin looked at the bracelet on his wrist and let out a sigh. He took it off and put it inside his storage space. He waved his right hand and 3 origin souls flew out from his storage space. The first origin soul was Chen Qianjun, but it was only half of it, and it was in a near-death state. It was blurry and looked like it would dissipate if the wind blew on it. Wang Lin had promised to take him out of the 7-colored realm. Although he was successful, Chen Tianjun's body had collapsed and his origin soul could be destroyed at any moment. While pondering, Wang Lin's divine sense spread out and slowly entered Chen Tianjun's blurry origin soul. "Fellow cultivator Chen, we have left the 7-colored realm." Wang Lin's message echoed inside Chen Tianjun's origin soul. "Thank you. Fellow cultivator, please help me one more time. Send me back to the Battle Beast sect. My teacher can save me." Chen Tianjun's origin soul was too weak, and after sending out this message, his origin soul became even more blurry. "Okay," Wang Lin agreed. Then he waved his hand and put Chen Tianjun's origin soul back inside his storage space. His gaze fell on the 2nd origin soul. It was the old woman in green. Her eyes were closed at the moment, and although her origin soul was blurry, it showed no sign of collapse. She was far from Chen Tianjun's state. There was also Wang Lin's seal on her origin soul. Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal and pointed at the old woman's origin soul. After the seal was released, she opened her eyes and looked around. She then silently looked at Wang Lin. Although her origin soul was not seriously injured, her cultivation method had been broken. Her cultivation level had fallen greatly, and she was now only around the early stage of Nirvana Cleanser. Wang Lin also didn't speak as he coldly stared at the old woman's origin soul. The surroundings were completely silent, and this silence formed an invisible pressure that shrouded the old woman's origin soul. She revealed a bitter expression and whispered, "Fellow cultivator Lu, I am willing to sacrifice my life and death restriction in exchange for my life. If you don't believe me, you can search my soul. But I ask fellow cultivator to let me leave alive. After all, there isn't any great grudge between us." She was sincere, and in truth had no heart to look for Wang Lin for revenge. At first she thought she had completely seen through Wang Lin's strength, but she didn't expect him to survive the attack of a cultivator far above them. This point made her mind tremble and filled her with fear, so she only hoped to survive. The seven-colored realm was like a nightmare to her. Wang Lin looked at the old woman's origin soul, and after a long time, he placed his right hand on her head. His divine sense swept through her. She trembled as Wang Lin searched her memories and found the life and death restriction. A moment later, Wang Lin raised his right hand and a gust of wind pushed the old woman's origin soul off the wild continent and into the stars. It wasn't until she was tens of thousands of kilometers away that the wind dissipated. The old woman was even more in awe as she bowed toward Wang Lin's direction and left. The last origin soul was Master Cloud's soul. Since Wang Lin had accepted this person as a slave, he wouldn't treat him badly. However, now was not the time to help him heal. Wang Lin waved his sleeve and put Master Cloud's soul's origin soul back inside his storage space. Wang Lin pondered a bit before taking out an imitation heaven-defying bead from his storage space. He took out one of them, and his divine sense went inside. Just as Wang Lin expected, once the bead left the seven-colored realm, it was useless. A pity Wang Lin frowned and was about to put it away when a thought entered his mind. After thinking carefully for a bit, Wang Lin's divine sense went into the 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp. He found the All-Seer's soul and fused with it. Wang Lin's aura changed. It was as if he had become the All-Seer. His eyes were calm, and there was a hint of seven-colored light in them. Even his body gave off seven-colored light. He held the imitation heaven-defying bead in his hand, and his mind entered it. The bead released a seven-colored glow and showed signs of activating. Wang Lin clearly felt that as long as he willed it, the sealed spell of the Defying One would appear. This discovery was a pleasant surprise for Wang Lin. He took a deep breath and dispersed his fusion with the All-Seer's soul. The light from the bead immediately disappeared and returned to normal. After putting away the jade, Wang Lin was confident. Even though he was seriously injured, these beads would give him a large amount of protection before he fully recovered. The most important thing now is to heal and go to the Wind Celestial Realm to obtain a mosquito beast herd. Then I will be able to move as I please in the Cloud Sea. As for the Origin Sect's competition at the main sect, it will last for a few more months, so there is no rush to go. Right now I must go to the Wind Celestial Realm as soon as possible. Wang Lin made up his mind and shot off into the stars at a very fast speed. He had obtained a large amount of star maps from Panglaya 100 years ago, and he had already memorized them. Now he moved like a meteor through the fog. This place was already at the border to the Rank region. Wang Lin quickly flew through the fog and entered the Rank region. He flew toward the depths according to the star map. He flew at full speed toward the Wind Celestial Realm within the Rank region. Although his origin soul was injured, he didn't slow down at all. After he used the speed talismans, his speed was almost on par with First Heaven's blight old monsters. Along the way, countless cultivators noticed him, and they were all shocked. None of them dared to stop him. What speed? Who is that person? In the Rank region, a group of more than 10 cultivators were flying through and only felt the fog before them rumble violently. An aura suddenly passed them at an incredible speed. It wasn't until this figure was far away that the sonic boom caught up. This person had obviously exceeded the speed of sound. The expressions of these people changed greatly. They looked at each other and all saw the shock in each other's eyes. Even Teacher can reach that kind of speed. If there is no treasure, then he has to be a peak Nirvana Shatterer, or even a rare Heaven's blight old monster. Lately, Leo has been having half headaches, always seeming to see light waves in the form of lines, affecting my vision, sometimes momentarily half blinded, perhaps too exhausted. Chapter 1230 Strong. As Wang Lin flew at top speed, the fog before him split open as if being pierced by a sword. He flew through the fog in a flash. According to Wang Lin's understanding, the rank region had already been sealed to prevent outsiders from entering. There should be a defensive line around the rank region with cultivators forming a perimeter. This was completely different from the rank region. Wang Lin quickly flew through the rank region, piercing through the fog. As he flew, he passed by many floating continents. He was so fast that he caused large amounts of fog to churn. This caught the attention of all the old monsters in the rank region, but after seeing Wang Lin's speed, they were all shocked. They immediately backed down and didn't dare to stop Wang Lin. They allowed him to pass through the area. In the cultivation world, cultivation level was everything, and the strong would be respected. At this moment, Wang Lin's speed was sufficient proof of his strength. His speed was too fast for people to lock onto him, making it difficult to see his cultivation level. People would rather have less trouble than more, so they ignored him. If someone else dared to fly through the rank region like this, without going around all the continents, they would definitely be blocked, and would even have to worry about their life. Even with Wang Lin's speed, it would take a long time for him to go from the rank 5 to rank region. If he had to go around all the various sects, it would delay him even more. Thus, he decided to be arrogant for once. No sect or continent was going to make him take a detour. There were no cultivators that dared to interrupt him, but some of the old monster followed him. Although they couldn't compare to Wang Lin's speed, they followed. They wanted to know why such a powerful cultivator had come to the rank region. After flying through the rank region for almost 10 days, Wang Lin had passed many continents and sects as he approached the border of the rank region. There were very few cultivators around here. Wang Lin looked at the rank region. There was a ghostly light that formed a giant formation that prevented cultivators from entering. Unless one had a token, ignoring whether or not they could even break through the formation, the cultivators of the rank 7 sect placed here as guards would attack the moment they tried to enter. Wang Lin's expression was neutral. He naturally didn't have a token, but instead of slowing down, he flew even faster toward the formation protecting the rank region. Dozens of old monsters from the rank 6 sects were following behind him. Although they couldn't keep up with Wang Lin, they could feel the fluctuations ahead. They felt strange when Wang Lin entered the border of the rank 6 and 7 region, but soon they understood. This was obviously an old monster who wanted to return to his region. Although it was strange that he didn't use the transfer arrays the upper sects had set up, they didn't think too much about it. However, just as they were about to leave, they suddenly turned around and stared straight ahead. They all sensed that the person that had charged by their sects didn't slow down outside the formation around the rank region, and instead started moving even faster. These old monsters were all smart, so they realized that this person didn't have a token and had decided to break through. This discovery immediately made them excited, and such excitement was something they couldn't miss. It looks like I didn't follow him for all these days for nothing. I'll be able to see someone break through the formation. It had been a very long time since someone dared to provoke the might of the rank region, much less break through this formation. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral as he flew faster and faster on his way to the formation. From a distance, you could see a meteor move at an unimaginable speed toward the formation. When the cultivators from the rank 7 sect closed in, they saw this, but at this moment, Wang Lin smashed into the formation. A thunderous rumble echoed across the stars, and the star fog was pushed back. The giant formation flashed violently and cracking sounds echoed. In an instant, there was a loud bang as countless cracks appeared on the formation and spread like crazy. In the blink of an eye, the formation looked like it was covered in cobwebs until it finally collapsed into countless fragments that scattered due to the force of the impact. Wang Lin's figure didn't pause for even a moment. After he broke through the formation, he charged through. He flew by those cultivators that were guarding the formation, and his momentum caused them to subconsciously retreat. They could only watch helplessly as Wang Lin left, and not one of them dared to even say a word. The old monsters from the rank region were all startled. Although they were prepared when they actually saw it, they were still shocked. Looking at the faint light of the broken formation, these old monsters began to laugh. They were all powerful cultivators who didn't have much goodwill toward the rank region, and they found this formation an eyesore. Now that someone had smashed it, they naturally laughed. However, at the same time, they became cautious and began guessing this person's identity. This person must be at the Heaven-S blight stage, or else there is no way he could be broken that formation so easily. This has nothing to do with me. Let's see how the rank 7 sects will deal with this. Interesting. That old monster must have an eccentric personality. Rather than using the transfer arrays, he decided to break the formation. He clearly doesn't consider the rank region a threat at all. After entering the rank region, Wang Lin started moving even faster. He just needed to cross the rank region to enter the rank region. The Wind Celestial Realm was there. However, there were far more powerful cultivators in the rank region than the rank region. After Wang Lin flew by a continent, 4 Nirvana Shatterer divine senses rushed out immediately and formed a blockade to stop Wang Lin. Which cultivator trespassed on the land of my sect and just wants to leave like this? A divine sense message echoed from the 4 divine senses. Although Wang Lin's injuries hadn't fully healed, it would be impossible to stop him with just 4 Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. His expression was neutral as he waved his hand while moving forward. A giant palm appeared. This palm was huge and looked like it could cover the entire continent. The moment it appeared, origin energy gathered like crazy, and even the fog began to tremble and twist. A powerful might descended into the world. The palm print appeared and swept toward the 4 divine senses before Wang Lin. War Spirit Print. God Sect Cultivator. The 4 divine senses revealed looks of disbelief and retreated without hesitation. However, the palm was too fast and directly landed on the 4 divine senses. A thunderous rumble echoed and created a giant shockwave. Even the continent the sect was on trembled violently and was moved several thousand feet. This giant palm print rumbled as it flew forward and continued to absorb origin energy. It grew bigger and bigger, and the aura it gave off became more terrifying. Wang Lin followed after the palm print. With the palm opening the path, the fog began to scatter. All of this happened in a flash, fast beyond imagination. There were 4 pavilions on the 4 corners of the continent that was moved several thousand feet, and each had an elder sitting inside. They all coughed out blood, and their eyes filled with shock and fear. They flew out and looked at where Wang Lin disappeared. They could still feel the rumble and gathering of origin energy in the distance. They were shocked by the War Spirit Print and terrified by the power of the person who used it. That person is strong enough to sweep through my rank region. Luckily, we didn't provoke him too much or revealed killing intent. We just wanted him stay to answer a few questions. He was able to injure us with just 1 palm, and he didn't even use full strength. The 4 of them looked at each other and breathed in a breath of cold air. They felt a burst of lingering fear. With the War Spirit Print opening the path, a thunderous rumble echoed. Endless amounts of origin energy was sucked in, making the palm even bigger. If it was 100 years ago, Wang Lin would have lost control, but right now he could still handle more. He flew behind the palm print as he swept through the stars. A shadow appeared before him. It was a wild continent. There was a thunderous rumble as the palm print directly landed on the continent. The continent rumbled and countless cracks appeared on it as the palm print pierced through. The continent was split into 2. With this power, who in the rank region would dare to resist? Everyone who saw the palm coming escaped quickly. Some were terrified because they calculated that their sects were in the way. They sent out cultivators to move their continent tens of thousands of kilometers away to make a path. Wang Lin spent almost 10 days with the War Spirit Print opening a path, and he gradually closed in on the rank region. These past few days I've always been prodding myself to wish for likes on the VIDEO, but I always forget. Now there are only the last 12 hours left to double the likes for the VIDEO. Tears in the hope of likes. Brothers, don't hold back. Chapter 1231, Fire Centipede. The War Spirit Print was very large. It had absorbed so much origin energy that the power inside could even make a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator tremble in fear. 3 days ago, the War Spirit Print reached the limit of Wang Lin's control, so he cut off its ability to absorb more origin energy. The fog along the way was all pushed aside as he closed in on the rank region. On this day, the rank region appeared in his vision. Almost 20 days of continuous travel had made Wang Lin very tired, but his eyes were bright. Although he was traveling, he was still adjusting his body and continuing to devour pills to help himself recover. There was no formation between the rank and rank regions, but there were a dense layer of fog. This fog was very dense and vast, and it completely surrounded the rank region. There were many rank 10 beasts inside, and there were even rank 12 beasts in the depths. There were simply too many fierce beasts here and was considered a very dangerous area in the Cloud Sea. This place was called the Chaos Beast Fog Realm. The reason it was described as a realm was because of how big it was. If an ordinary cultivator went in alone, not even their bones would remain. Only those true old monsters could enter, and even they had to be cautious. However, the god sect had used some unknown method, so the fierce beasts inside would not leave this realm. They would just absorb origin energy in there. It was as if there was a boundary at the edge of this fog. There were 4 paths in the Chaos Beast Fog Realm, and only these 4 paths were safe. They were paths rank 8 sect disciples had to choose if they wished to leave the rank region and not use a transfer array. Rumor had it that they were opened by the god sect countless years ago. They had used a special method to ensure the safety of the 4 path, so that those passing through wouldn't get attacked by fierce beasts. However, aside from the disciples of the rank 8 sects and those who obtained a guide jade, no one knew the paths. They could only charge into the Chaos Beast Fog Realm, and if they didn't die, they would have a chance of entering the rank region. At this moment, in the 3rd path in the Chaos Beast Fog Realm, there were 4 cultivators rushing through. The one in front was an old man wearing a black and white Taoist robe, with a head of silver-gray hair. Although he was old, his gaze was like lightning. The fog before him would often retreat under his gaze. This old man gave off a powerful Nirvana Shatterer aura, so he had obviously reached the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage. The law of the world gathered inside him as he moved. There were 3 people behind him, 2 men and 1 woman. They all looked young and were around the Nirvana Cleanser stage. Although the woman was also wearing a Taoist robe, it didn't cover up her voluptuous body, yet she had a very pure appearance. She gave off an extremely charming aura, and often just a move of her eyes would make the eyes of the 2 men beside her fill with desire. As they flew, the woman slowly said in a charming voice, "Teacher, where are you taking us?" The old man didn't speak and continued to fly until they arrived in the depths of the Chaos Beast Fog Realm. Only then did he stop and look back at the 3 of them. "You all are core disciples of my everlasting sect, but you've ever relied on pills to increase your cultivation levels, and therefore don't have deep comprehension of the heavens, much less the law of the world. The best way to comprehend the heavens is in a life and death crisis. Today, teacher brought you here, where there are a lot of fierce beasts, so the 3 of you can go slowly comprehend." After the old man spoke, he waved his hand. He didn't even let them talk before throwing them into the fog. The old man silently pondered for a bit as he sat down, and his divine sense spread out to observe his 3 disciples. Unless it was a real life and death moment, he wouldn't help them. In the rank region, outside the Chaos Beast Fog Realm, the War Spirit Print rushed across the stars, and Wang Lin followed behind. He was already aware of the Chaos Beast Fog Realm on Ping Lai, and was aware of a route. However, he wasn't sure about the information, and it was likely for him to get lost in the fog if he didn't know the exact direction. More importantly, the route he knew would require him to go around in a large circle, causing the time required to double. It also wasn't guaranteed, so in the end he gave up on this choice. He decided to take a straight path and break through by force. This would allow him to enter the rank region in the shortest time possible. After making up his mind, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to close in on the Chaos Beast Fog Realm surrounding the rank 8 region, with a rumbling War Spirit Print opening a path. He was fast as a meteor as he crashed into the Chaos Beast Fog Realm. When the War Spirit Print got close to the dense fog, the fog quickly retreated as if it didn't dare to get close, letting the palm enter. However, this fog was very strange. Although it retreated, it didn't make a path like the fog Wang Lin had seen so far. The fog surrounded the War Spirit Print and seemed to be devouring it. The thunderous rumbles of the palm print caused the calm Chaos Beast Fog Realm to become chaotic, like a rock thrown into a calm lake. The ripples caused the beasts inside to roar. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged, and his speed didn't slow down at all as he followed the palm print. His divine sense spread out and surrounded the area. He detected a large amount of fierce beasts inside this fog. Just at this moment, a roar that pushed back the fog ahead echoed. It was a red centipede that was thousands of feet long, covered in hair, and looked extremely ferocious. It appeared in the fog and charged at Wang Lin. This centipede was rather ugly, and the two giant pincers on the sides of its jaw gave off a cold glint. Its large body moved like a fish as it rushed over. The moment the centipede appeared, the surrounding beasts within Wang Lin's divine sense stopped roaring and scattered. It was as if this centipede was the king of this area, and its appearance would cause the other beasts to retreat. Wang Lin's eyes were calm. Thanks to his cultivation level, he immediately saw that this centipede was rank 11, which was equal to mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer Cultivator. Wang Lin was surprised a beast at this level would dare to appear before the War Spirit print. In an instant, the red centipede charged out from the fog and let out a loud hiss. This hiss was earth-shattering and echoed like rumbling thunder. This hiss caused the surrounding fog to churn even more violently. This centipede stared at the War Spirit print and revealed a look of hatred. It let out roar as it released large amounts of red light that turned into a monstrous sea of fire. Then it charged at Wang Lin while covered in a sea of fire. Wang Lin didn't have time to pay attention to the centipede as the War Spirit print moved forward, but the moment the centipede got close, the fire around it turned into a firestorm. The fire surrounded the War Spirit print in an attempt to stop it from moving forward. However, the War Spirit print had absorbed so much origin energy that it contained unimaginable power. When the fire got close, it was immediately pushed back. A large portion of it was extinguished when the War Spirit print passed by. Wang Lin was behind the palm print, calmly moving forward. He moved extremely fast and didn't pause at all as he passed by the centipede. All of this happened in a flash. It was unimaginably fast. However, the centipede wouldn't give up. It roared and charged after Wang Lin. Fire surrounded its body as it stared at Wang Lin with deep hatred. It was as if it wouldn't give up until it tore Wang Lin apart. At this instant, several roars came from the fog in the distance. It was 6 more identical centipedes all charging toward this location. Even farther away, a mighty roar that suppressed everything echoed. This roar revealed the might of a rank 12 beast. A hideous blue centipede 10,000 feet long moved at an extreme speed toward Wang Lin. All the fog was being pushed aside, making the beast even faster. The moment this blue centipede roared, the old man in the Taoist robe in the third path not far away opened his eyes. He looked into the distance and revealed a look of shock. Rank 12 fire centipede. Although this beast lives in the fog, it rarely appears. What the hell happened to make it roar so angrily? Not good. My disciples are still inside the fog. If they encounter it, it will be difficult for them to escape death. The old man immediately charged into the fog. After Wang Lin heard the roar from the rank 12 beast, he frowned lightly. He naturally understood that these centipedes seemed to have intense hatred for the War Spirit print, so he was dragged in as well. The fierce beast closest to me didn't care for its life to stall me, and the other beast arrived to delay me as well. All of this so the rank 12 beast could have enough time to arrive. This is interesting. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. He didn't care what kind of hatred these centipedes had with the God sect, but if they provoked him, there was only death. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He knew he had to kill the one behind him, or else it would continue to roar and give away his position. This roar was also very irritating for him. Since you're looking for death, then you can blame me. Wang Lin suddenly turned around as he raised his right hand and pointed at the fierce beast chasins behind him. 5,000 words in a major chapter. Seizing the moment when brothers and sisters feel comfortable, Lio wishes for the like button for the video, for sharing, for channel follows without hesitation. Chapter 1232, Shocked Appearance. Fire of the world, listen to my command. Burn. Wang Lin's voice revealed a cold intent. The moment he spoke, the fire around the centipede went through a startling change. Wang Lin's vermilion bird had gone through its third awakening and had fused with the law of fire, becoming part of the law. Before Wang Lin, unless their fire was outside the law, as long as Wang Lin wanted to, he could extinguish it. The moment Wang Lin's words fell, the sea of fire around the red centipede suddenly trembled before it charged at the centipede. At the same time, popping sounds echoed inside the centipede's body. An even more powerful fire suddenly erupted from within its body. The moment the centipede's eyes became filled with fear, the fire inside its body erupted forth. A burst of mournful cries echoed, but soon it all stopped. a fireball about 1,000 feet large appeared and lit up the surrounding fog. It gradually extinguished, and the centipede inside was burnt to ashes. All of this happened in an instant, and Wang Lin had merely raised his finger. He didn't look at the result. After pointing, he turned around and followed the war spirit print. The moment the fire centipede died, roars of grief echoed in the distance. It was the several other 1,000 feet centipede coming even faster. The hatred in the 10,000 feet blue centipede became even stronger. It let out a roar and moved even faster. If my injuries had healed, it wouldn't be hard to kill this rank 12 beast even now, because it is a fire beast. It shouldn't be easy to kill. Wang Lin frowned, and shortly after, there was a flash of killing intent on his face. Courting death. A red light came from the fog to Wang Lin's right, and a sea of fire shot out. This sea of fire was more than 10,000 feet wide, and it seemed like it was going to burn the fog. It shot straight toward Wang Lin, and there was another fierce 1,000-foot centipede charging at Wang Lin. It was very fast and closed in an instant. The sea of fire gave off an intense heat, and it was less than 1,000 feet from Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a cold snort and waved his hand, causing a shocking change. The sea of fire suddenly stopped and was pushed back. It crashed toward the centipede like an angry wave. At the same time, the fire around the centipede went crazy and pounced on the centipede. Another huge fireball suddenly appeared. The centipede couldn't even let out a miserable hiss before it was burned by the fire. Also, the fire that burnt it was no longer red, but revealed a hint of blue. The moment this fireball appeared, 2 more centipedes charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He originally didn't want to brother with these beasts, but they seemed unwilling to give up, unless they died. There was a flash of coldness in his gaze as Wang Lin decided to kill. The star formed by law appeared between his eyebrows and blue fire appeared around him, before being shot into the fog to the left. A moment later, a shocking sound came from the fog as a monstrous blue flame echoed. The moment the miserable hiss appeared, it immediately disappeared, and the endless heat spread across the fog. Shortly after, blue fire appeared in another direction. A huge fireball appeared before exploding into countless specks of blue flames. All of this happened in an instant. Wang Lin walked out from the fog with a cold expression and chased after the war spirit print. Along the way, no more fierce beasts blocked his path. It was obvious that the battle just now had caused the beasts to become extremely afraid. However, the 10 of thousands of feet blue centipede closing in was still angry, but it was simply too far away. Even now, moving at top speed, it would still require a lot of time for it to catch up. As it roared, the blue centipede became crazy and dense. Blue fire appeared around it. Then its body suddenly shrank and popping sounds echoed inside its body. In an instant, a flash of blue light spread across its 10 of thousands of feet long body. It was as if an invisible force had opened a crack from the beginning to the end of its body. The moment this cracked blue light came out from it, a smaller centipede about 8,000 feet long flew out. Its speed increased several-fold as it charged ahead covered in blue fire. Shortly after, cracks appeared on the 8,000 feet centipede, and a smaller 6,000 feet centipede flew out. Its speed increased once more. Using this strange method, the centipede continued to shed its skin and shrink, but its speed increased like crazy. Wang Lin quickly moved through the chaos beast fog realm with the war spirit Pring opening a path, gradually closing in on the rank region. Along the way he met many fierce beasts that tried to block him, but his slaughter and the war spirit print broke through. He moved extremely quickly through the fog. The longer he was inside the fog, the more Wang Lin felt like this place was strange. The longer he was here, the more fierce beasts would gather, making it extremely difficult to leave unless he fully recovered. Wang Lin used almost 4 days of time to reach the edge of the Chaos Beast Fog realm. Once he made it out, he would reach the rank region. However, at this moment, Wang Lin turned around and his right hand pointed at the War Spirit print. The War Spirit print suddenly moved and appeared before Wang Lin. At the same time, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to form a seal and point at the War Spirit print. The seal Wang Lin had placed on it to stop absorbing origin energy collapsed, and it began absorbing origin energy like crazy. Just at this moment, there was a flash of blue coming from the fog before Wang Lin. An unimaginable heat filled the surrounding hundreds of thousands of feet. An angry roar came out from the fog. As the fog was pushed aside, a ferocious 3,000-foot-long centipede charged out, and it was surrounded by a monstrous blue fire. The moment the centipede appeared, the aura of a rank 12 beast surrounded the area. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes, and he waved his right hand. The war spirit print charged out and shot toward the centipede while it continued to absorb origin energy. It was very fast, causing the surrounding fog to be pushed to the sides as it rumbled. It immediately smashed into the incoming centipede. The centipede let out a heaven-shaking hiss and stared ferociously at the huge palm. It rushed toward the palm print while being surrounded by a sea of fire, but when it got close, its body twisted and the blue fire collided with the palm print. As the thunderous rumble echoed, its body dodged to the side and charged at Wang Lin. Its ferocious expression and sharp pincer made it look like it wanted to eat Wang Lin alive. This scene, combined with the giant palm print behind it, presented an unexpected sense of beauty. Wang Lin's expression was cold as the star of law flashed before his eyebrows. It rotated rapidly as a blue fire spread out from his body. Compared to the light blue of the centipede, this blue was shocking. The centipede's body paused for an indescribable moment and its eyes became serious. However, it didn't retreat, but charged out like crazy. The fire about its body became even more majestic and blue light shined brightly. Wang Lin raised his right hand and pointed with his finger. When facing anyone using fire, there was no need for fancy spells to decide the outcome. With the point of his finger, the deep blue fire around him condensed and shot out. As it shot forward, the blue light flashed and turned into a large blue vermilion bird. The vermilion bird let out a cry and charged at the centipede. The centipede immediately let out a roar, and its upper body rose up like a snake and stared at the vermilion bird. The blue fire around it condensed like crazy to form a monstrous force outside its body. Then it collided with the vermilion bird that was rapidly closing in. A thunderous rumble echoed across the Chaos Beast fog realm, and the beast sense of several rank 12 beasts shot straight to this place. However, at this moment, a very powerful aura that even shocked Wang Lin came from the depths of the Chaos Beast fog realm and suppressed the other rank 12 beasts. The rumble was heaven-shaking when the two fires collided. The vermilion bird let out an unwilling cry as it rushed back into Wang Lin's body. The moment it returned, Wang Lin flew far away. The sea of fire before the centipede immediately collapsed and its body exploded as its fire was pushed back. Half its body was a bloody mess, but it didn't die. It let out a miserable hiss and quickly retreated back into the disappearing fog. In the fog, the old man from the Everlast sect had watched all of this, and he was shocked. Who is this person? He unexpectedly controls fire even stronger than the fire centipede and has a very high cultivation level. If not for his injuries, even I would not be confident in a fight against him. But he is not from the God sect. I have seen the war spirit print before, and while his is very similar, it's not the war spirit print. There were 3 disciples following the old man. They were all shocked and terrified of what they saw. They originally thought they were powerful, but what they saw had shaken their minds. In particular, the beautiful female cultivator's eyes lit up as she watched Wang Lin leave. No one knew what she was thinking. At this moment, the aura that suppressed all the rank 12 beasts' auras swept across the fog filled with anger. The old man's head jerked up as if he remembered something, and his expression changed. He waved his sleeves and took his 3 disciples toward the third path. I can no longer allow the 3 of them to train here. Waking up early today, not updating on time even earlier. Leo went to deal with household chores, unsure what time I'll be back this afternoon. The new chapter tonight might be late. Chapter 1233, Movement of Wind. After charging out from the Chaos Beast fog realm, Wang Lin entered the rank region. Wang Lin revealed a look of joy after he charged out, and he looked back at the fog. Just now, he had felt the aura of a rank 13 beast. It was this aura that made him give up on killing the centipede. After all, the most important thing right now was to reach the Wind Celestial Realm. There is indeed a reason for this Chaos Beast fog realm to be so famous. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin flew off into the distance. After entering the rank region, Wang Lin no longer acted so arrogantly. He knew that there were many old monsters in the rank region. The elder that was observing his battle in the fog was obviously one of them. Although he hadn't fully healed, with his power, along with various spells and treasures, he could be arrogant in the rank 6 and 7 regions. However, in the rank region, he would need to be more cautious. Therefore, Wang Lin withdrew his aura and slowed down. At the same time, he studied the route to the Wind Celestial Realm. He didn't T-charge in a straight light, but avoided certain areas as he rushed toward the Wind Celestial Realm. Compared to the size of the rank region, Wang Lin was like a fish in the ocean. He gradually headed toward the Wind Celestial Realm, while he purposely kept himself hidden. Wang Lin flew for several days straight. It had been almost 1 month since he had begun his trip in the rank region. The Wind Celestial Realm was seriously damaged back then, but because it was occupied by the mosquito beasts, the ruins were left mostly intact. There were still some cultivators that would enter. Every now and then groups of cultivators would enter in an attempt to capture some lone mosquito beasts along the outer edge. There was no need for a wind furnace to enter the Wind Celestial Realm. There was a huge spatial rift, and as long as one had the courage to charge through the dense mosquito beast herd, they could enter. However, very few people could actually do this. Only when there were a lot of people with a powerful cultivator leading the way could they break through, or if there were several powerful old monsters working together. However, most people only moved in the outer region. After all, some fierce beasts would occasionally appear outside the crack. These beasts contained trace amounts of rare celestial spiritual energy, and after a long time, precious crystals filled with celestial spiritual energy would form. Although it wasn't too much, it was better than nothing. At this moment, there were more than 10 cultivators outside the crack to the Rain Celestial Realm. They seemed to be waiting for more people to enter. Wang Lin gradually came out from the fog. His white hair was very conspicuous. The moment he appeared, the gazes of all the cultivators gathered. At this moment, on the continent of Molu in the rank 5 region, Lu Yanfei stood on the mountain where she first spoke to Wang Lin. The wind caused her hair to flow, and she looked like a celestial. There was a hint of melancholy on that beautiful face. The competition of the main sect was nearing. Everyone participating in the competition was prepared and waiting for the main sect to open the transfer array to the main sect. The transfer arrays built in each branch sect could only be opened by the main sect. They had no right to activate it. Lu Yanfei had stood here for 1 hour already. She always looked at the sky, expecting to see the figure again. She had waited years, but even now, that figure still had not appeared. After a long time, the earth trembled and a bright light came from the Origin sect. Large amounts of Origin energy began to gather in the Origin sect, but none of this caught Lu Yanfei's attention. She bit her lower lip and stared at the sky. There was sadness in her eyes. Why, you promised you said you would come. Behind Lu Yanfei, Shu Yun arrived like a breeze. She looked at her teacher and pondered silently for a moment before she finally said, "Teacher, the main sect has already opened the transfer array. Uncle Teacher asked me to bring you over. We leaving." She let out a sigh, then Lu Yanfei withdrew her gaze from the sky and the look of melancholy disappeared from her face, replaced with a determined gaze. She looked at Shu Yun and softly said, "After this trip, you and I will no longer be teacher and disciple. You have very good talent and will likely become a core disciple in whichever branch sect you resent to." Tears flowed down from Shu Yun's eyes, and she was about to speak. "No need to say more, I have decided." Lu Yanfei looked profoundly at Shu Yun and walked down from the mountain. As Lu Yanfei's 3 senior brothers stood outside the transfer array, a pressure built up. They looked at their surroundings to get a good last look. When Lu Yanfei arrived, everyone stepped into the formation. The moment the formation activated, and they were teleported to the Everlast sect in the rank region. A crystal teardrop fell from Lu Yanfei's eyes. "When you come back, perhaps you will find that the Origin sect is already gone." At the same time in the rank region, after the last fierce beast was killed outside the crack, the beast tide seemed to have died down. This allowed the Cloud Sea cultivators to have a moment of rest. Among these cultivators, the blue-haired Li Qianmei was the focal point of everyone. She wiped the beast blood from her sword, but she was still calm. Looking at the distance, Li Qianmei silently left the battlefield and walked toward the branch the demon sect had set up here. "I am going to leave for 3 months. In the demon sect, Li Qianmei looked at the vague figure in the hall. Although her voice was soft, it was filled with determination. The hall was completely silent as a blurry figure slowly raised his head. 2 rays of light appeared from the figure and landed on Li Qianmei's body. Li Qianmei's expression was calm. There wasn't any change. Not many people could remain calm before such a breathtaking gaze, Even the owner of the gaze couldn't help but reveal some admiration. No, I'm just informing you. Li Qianmei turned around and walked away. A bigger beast tide is imminent, and if you leave now, you will be a disgrace to your heaven-breaking sect. The blurry figure seemed to frown as his unstable voice echoed. Li Qianmei didn't speak and walked out from the hall. If you dare to walk half a step, you will be guilty of defecting. The voice was still unstable, but the world seemed to turn cold. Li Qianmei stopped and pondered for a moment. She didn't turn around and softly said, I want to leave for 3 months. After she finished speaking, she raised her foot and walked forward without any hesitation. The hall was silent. Why must you be so resolute? Is there something more important than facing the beast tide and making sure the cloud sea remains untainted? There was a hint of anger in the voice. There is one thing that's more important to me than what you said. Li Qianmei gradually walked away. It wasn't until Li Qianmei was gone for a long time that a sigh echoed in the hall. There was no longer any anger or coldness in the voice. Since you re so resolute, then take my jade and leave via the teleport formation. That way, you can save some time. With the voice, a gentle light shot out of the demon sect and landed in Li Qianmei's hand. Li Qianmei took the jade and looked into the distance. She softly said, after disappearing for 100 years, he should appear to help the origin sect in the competition. Will he go? In the cloud sea there was a wild continent floating in the fog that was extremely cold. It was as if all life would be frozen here. In the east side of the wild continent, there was a cave in a mountain. Mu Bingmei was sitting there. Her eyes would sometimes open and look outside at the strange land. There was loneliness and homesickness in her eyes. Her injuries were very serious. If she wanted to recover, it couldn't be done in a short period of time, so she was waiting. After she arrived, she threw out an ancient jade of the brilliant void realm. It was something only the saintess of each generation could possess. While cultivating, Mu Bingmei would often recall her own life. Her life was very dull, and almost all of it was spent in the brilliant void realm. The happiest moment was when she recalled the experiences. It was as if she was looking at another life. Liu Mei was the most special existence among her avatars, and it was all because of one person. At times, Mu Bingmei wasn't sure if she was Liu Mei or Mu Bingmei. She was like outsider watching Liu Mei, and she gradually became lost, as if someone from the outside had walked in. Thinking about it, tears flowed down from the corners of the eyes of her origin soul. However, these tears weren't real. They were just her heart being torn apart. After an unknown amount of time, a gentle voice came from outside the cave and entered her mind. She was awakened her from thoughts, but she wasn't surprised, as if she had been expecting it. Is the person inside the brilliant void saintess, elder sister Mu Bingmei? Mu Bingmei softly said, Please enter. A woman wearing a yellow dress walked in from outside the cave. She looked very delicate, and although she wasn't as beautiful as Mu Bingmei, she wouldn't look any worse if they stood together. The woman looked at Mu Bingmei and apologized. After receiving the jade, teacher was going to come personally, but something occurred, so junior sister here came to pick up big sister. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Wang Xianxia. Named Wang, there was a hint of loneliness in Mu Bingmei's eyes as she nodded and softly said, I'll be troubling little sister Xianxia. This woman named Wang Xianhan was very feminine. After taking out some pills, she smiled. Big sister Mu is really beautiful. Little sister has never seen a woman so beautiful before. There was a hint of bitterness in Mu Bingmei's smile, and she didn't speak. Big sister Mu, the big competition of the rank 8 sects of my Cloud Sea Star system will be taking place soon. Since it is on the way to the God sect, we should go there together. Little sister rarely gets to come out, and I don't want to go back so soon. Mu Bingmei looked at the woman before her and nodded. Finally, the weekend is here, and Leo can finally sleep to his heart's content, not needing to get up early to take the daughter to school. Been burning the midnight oil these past few days, utterly exhausted. Chapter 1234. Welcome. The competition of the rank 8 sects involved all the rank 8 sects, but not all disciples were interested in coming. Some held disdain toward all of this and didn't participate, and they moved about as they wished. The cultivators outside the wind's celestial realm were like this. They were all the juniors of the various sects, but their cultivation levels weren't low. They had gathered together to try to explore the wind's celestial realm, Li Yuanlei was one of them. Among these people, he was the leader of this group, as he was at the late stage of Nirvana Cleanser. He had a slender body under his green robe and gave off a majestic aura. His handsome eyes were bright as he stared coldly ahead. They were waiting for other cultivators to gather, calculating the time those people would be arriving soon. Just at this moment, the fog ahead churned and Wang Lin slowly walked out wearing white with a head of flowing white hair. The moment he appeared, the more than cultivators looked over. When Li Yuanlei saw Wang Lin, his expression changed slightly as his gaze followed Wang Lin's figure. The other cultivators beside Li Yuanlei looked at Wang Lin once and withdrew their gazes. They no longer paid Wang Lin any attention, but Li Yuanlei frowned. He felt like this white-haired youth gave off a strange feeling. Looking at the spatial crack to the Wind Celestial Realm, Wang Lin's eyes lit up an indiscernible amount. He had spent more than a month to come here just for the Wind Celestial Realm. At this moment, he didn't look at the cultivators outside the Wind Celestial Realm. He charged directly at the spatial crack leading to the Wind Celestial Realm. This spatial crack was like a giant crack that wanted to devour everything. There was also a faint hint of celestial spiritual energy coming from inside. Although it was very weak, Wang Lin clearly felt it. Passing over the cultivators, Wang Lin stood outside the crack and spread out his divine sense. He immediately found that it was as if his divine sense had fallen in a bottomless hole and entered another space. It quickly dissipated. However, the moment it dissipated, Wang Lin got a brief look of the scene inside the Wind Celestial Realm. It was a world covered in a yellow glow. It was as if the entire world was shrouded in howling wind. Whether it was on the ground or in the sky, there was wind blowing everywhere. The divine sense he had spread out was devoured by the crack, and even the remnant was destroyed by the storm. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and he subconsciously took a few steps back. Just at this moment, laughter came from behind. It was one of the cultivators who looked mockingly at Wang Lin and casually said to one of his companions, "Where did this wild cultivator come from? How can he do something like trying to observe the Wind Celestial Realm with his divine sense? I guess he says just someone reckless that didn't know about the consequences." The cultivators around him all looked at Wang Lin outside the spatial crack with a hint of disdain. It wasn't that they found Wang Lin displeasing, but what Wang Lin had done was simply too reckless for those who had lived in the rank region. Everyone came here with companions and only carefully spread out their divine sense after entering the crack. Otherwise, their divine sense would be destroyed by the wind in the celestial realm. Probing with your divine sense was simply pointless. Only the old monsters in their various sects would do something like this, and this was only because they had the strength to go into the Wind Celestial Realm by themselves. Li Yuanlei also smiled as he stepped forward toward Wang Lin and clasped his hands. "I fear this is the first time fellow cultivator has come to the Wind Celestial Realm's entrance. Spreading out your divine sense here is very dangerous. If fellow cultivator wants to see the Wind Celestial Realm, you can come with us. Once several more people arrive, we can enter together and be able to safely enter and withdraw." Wang Lin was still looking at the crack, as if he was pondering. After Li Yuanlei spoke, Wang Lin didn't turn around and only calmly said one line, "No need." With that, he raised his feet and walked toward the crack of the Wind Celestial Realm. He wasn't fast, but a strange force surrounded him, and at this moment, he attracted everyone's gazes. It seems he wants to enter the Wind Celestial Realm by himself. Big Brother Li had good intentions, but this person is just arrogant. Not even those old monsters would casually enter the Wind Celestial Realm. Li Yuanlei's eyes narrowed and stared at Wang Lin. He saw Wang Lin's figure speed up and charge toward the crack of the Wind Celestial Realm. Wang Lin closed in and was about to step inside. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he suddenly stopped. He immediately retreated hundreds of feet. The surrounding cultivators hadn't even reacted to the sudden movement when a monstrous roar came from the crack along with some intense buzzing sounds. A red mist erupted from the crack to the celestial realm and began to spread. There were roars and buzzing sounds coming from inside as mosquitoes 1,000 feet large appeared with ferocious expressions. These mosquito beasts were covered in barbed hair, and their large mouths gave off a fishy smell. It was a shocking sight, and a fierce aura from ancient times spread out. After the roar echoed, about 100 mosquito beasts flew out in the blink of an eye. Just at this moment, Li Yuanlei's expression changed greatly, and he retreated without hesitation, shouting, "A small group of giant mosquito beasts is being thrown out. Quickly retreat!" As he spoke, the expressions of the cultivators beside Li Yuanlei changed greatly and they began to retreat. With their cultivation levels, they stood no chance against these 100 or so mosquito beasts. They quickly scattered. "Kevin fragrance," Li Yuanlei's voice echoed again. At the same time, his right hand moved and an incense stick as thick as an arm appeared. The incense began to burn and an extraordinary fragrance quickly spread. It wasn't just him, but all the cultivators took out incense sticks and lit them. In the blink of an eye, the fragrance filled the area around the spatial crack. The mosquito beasts seemed to hate this fragrance a lot and stopped their original charge. They stared at the cultivators and began to roar and reveal fierce gazes. Staring at the 100 or so fierce mosquito beasts, everyone, including Li Yuanlei, recalled all the stories of how fierce the mosquito beasts were. After finding that the mosquito beasts had stopped outside the range of the fragrance, they all relaxed. Just at this moment, a young cultivator beside Li Yuanlei stared ahead. Disbelief filled his eyes and he exclaimed, How is this possible?" He lost control of his voice. The moment his voice echoed, everyone followed his gaze. The surrounding people were all stunned and shock and terror filled their eyes, but they were even more confused. At the center of their gazes was a white figure moving among the mosquito beasts. Below him was a pale gold mosquito beast. As he moved forward, the red mosquito beasts, which were originally extremely fierce, became a lot more tame. They didn't dare to block the youth in white at all, and even made a path. There was even a hint of worship in their eyes. The hiss of these mosquito beasts echoed, and they stopped paying any attention to the cultivators. Instead, they surrounded the cultivator in white, or more accurately, the pale gold mosquito beast. They formed a ring around it, and flew toward the red fog coming out from the crack to the wind celestial realm. This strange scene filled the surrounding cultivators with disbelief. It was as if those mosquito beasts hadn't been spat out by the red fog, but had come out on their own to welcome someone. They were welcoming that person in white. It wasn't until the person in white entered the fog and entered the crack that all the fierce red mosquito beasts all charged back into the red fog. The red fog rolled as if there was something wrong with time, and everything began to reverse. With the mosquitoes back inside the fog contracted and was sucked back into the crack. From when the red fog spat out the mosquito beast to when they returned to the fog and disappeared, less than minutes had passed. All the cultivators felt their scalps tingle, and even after everything returned to normal, they were still in shock. Who is he? Was his appearance a coincidence, or did the giant mosquito beasts come to greet him? Everyone looked at each other and saw the terror in each other's eyes. They couldn't forget what they had just witnessed. For the cultivators of the Cloud Sea, the might of the mosquito beasts that occupied the wind celestial realm wouldn't be questioned. Not even the God sect was confident in recovering the wind celestial realm. They once dispatched a group of powerful cultivators, but they eventually all failed and no one made it back alive. Most importantly, the giant mosquito beasts were impossible to domesticate. No matter what method was tried, it never succeeded. After a long time, everyone knew about this characteristic of the mosquito beasts. However, that person in white had just made the impossible possible. The surroundings were completely silent as they all pondered. Not long after, several rays of light arrived. The people they were waiting for had arrived. Day in, day out, nearing 3,000 words, reading a lot, but can't force myself to split the story into 2,000 words chapters, because then the flavor's gone. Leo with tears in his eyes, longing for the like button for the video. You are listening to a completely free audiobook on the Leo Audio YouTube channel. If you enjoy the story, please like the video to motivate the channel. Support Leo with a cup of coffee through the description link or on the screen. If you want to hear any other stories, just comment and let Leo know. Thank you very much for watching the video. Chapter 123, Devil. The moment Wang Lin's words came out, Zhou Zihong's group's expression suddenly changed. Especially Lin Tao's, whose face was pale. He started backing up, but the wandering soul immediately jumped toward him after hearing Wang Lin's order. Zhou Zihong bit her lower lip. She wanted to stop Wang Lin, but she couldn't utter a word. Senior brother Yang let out a sigh and a complex expression crossed his face. Lin Tao moved as fast as he could, but not to escape. He dodged back and forth in the area, trying to stay away from the wandering soul. He knew that, even if he ran away, not to mention whether or not he could get away, with how large the foreign battleground was, he knew he couldn't get to a transfer array alive. Thinking about that, he quickly said, "Senior, I don't have any relationship with Mai Liang at all. We rarely speak to each other. Please spare me, Senior. I'm willing to become Senior's slave," Lin Tao anxiously said as the wandering soul closed in on him. Wang Lin faintly smiled. He waved his hand and the wandering soul immediately stopped. Lin Tao's forehead was covered in cold sweat. He didn't dare to wipe it off. He respectfully said, "Senior, you must be an expert from a higher cultivation country. I am honored to become your slave. I don't have any other intentions." With that, his hand formed a seal and he pressed on his forehead. A drop of golden blood floated out of his forehead toward Wang Lin. After the drop of golden blood appeared, Lin Tao's body looked a lot weaker. He nervously looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin waved his hand. After he caught the blood, his gaze fell on senior apprentice brother Yang. After Lin Tao saw Wang Lin accepting the drop of golden blood, he immediately let out a breath. He knew that his life was safe. He was very smart, and it can be said that he was the first person who realized that something was wrong. He realized that Mai Liang had already died and had been possessed by someone, but he didn't dare to mention it to the other two. Lin Tao also knew that following Wang Lin was the only way to live. Even if Wang Lin didn't kill him and had just left him alone, he would die for sure, so this was a decision he didn't need to think about at all. When Wang Lin ordered the wandering soul sent after him, he knew that Wang Lin had realized that he knew, which was why he didn't play dumb. That would only get himself killed even faster. This was where Lin Tao's cleverness showed. He became Wang Lin's slave without any hesitation and even gave out a drop of his soul essence blood. After Wang Lin got Lin Tao's soul essence blood, he could kill him with just a thought, but Lin Tao had no other choice. If he wished to keep following Wang Lin, this had to be done. Lin Tao quickly moved to Wang Lin's side. He then pointed his sword at the other two without any hesitation. Since he already knew that he was a slave, then he must do what needed to be done, even if it was just for show. The young man named Yang wryly smiled. Without a word, he slapped his forehead, and a drop of soul essence blood flew toward Wang Lin. He wasn't any slower than Lin Tao in speculating that Mai Liang's strange actions were because Mai Liang had been possessed. He was very nervous the entire time. Since all of it was now out in the open, he quickly weighed his choices and decided to become Wang Lin's slave. Compared to life and death, what was pride? Also, this person was clearly a cultivator from a higher cultivation country and powerful enough for these strange creatures to fear him. If he followed this person, he might have a better chance to rise in the future. After sending out the drop of soul essence blood, he looked at his junior apprentice sister Zhou Zihong with a complex look and said, "Junior apprentice sister, you." Zhou Zihong waved her hand. She looked at Wang Lin while biting her lower lip and asked, "Senior you, when you passed that body, was Mai Liang dead or alive?" With that, her gaze became calm as she stared at Wang Lin. She wanted to ask this question when she noticed that something was wrong with him. Wang Lin looked at her and said, "Dead." Zhou Zihong let out a breath. It didn't matter if what Wang Lin said was true or false. She didn't want to keep asking. Intuitively, she thought the Wang Lin wasn't lying. The three of them were not even ants in this person's eyes, so there was really no need to lie. So, without a word, she sent out a drop of her soul essence blood. 3 drops of golden blood appeared before Wang Lin. He opened his mouth and sucked them in. 3 specks of light appeared in his divine sense. With just a thought, he could kill the 3 of them. In truth, Wang Lin didn't try to hide anything this whole time. Anyone who knew Mai Liang before would realize that something was wrong. Adding on the fact that the wandering souls feared him, anyone would be able to guess that something was off. Wang Lin didn't want to kill them, but if the 3 of them weren't smart, then he would have no other choice. The fact that he possessed a body was something that others couldn't know about, but after he leaves the foreign battleground, it will be easy. After all, 50 years is plenty of time for someone's personality to change. After Zhou Zihong, Yang Xiong, and Lin Tao became Wang Lin's slaves, they immediately relaxed and stood behind Wang Lin. Zhou Zihong looked at Wang Lin with a complex expression. She knew that she was very attractive. Back in the sect, she was sought after by many other disciples, but she rejected them all. Zhou Zihong swore that before she reaches the core formation stage, she won T form a cultivation pair. But now she was someone's slave. If her master were to ask, she couldn't T refuse. Thinking about it caused her heart to become very chaotic. She didn't T know that Wang Lin wasn't T interested in her at all. After collecting the 3 drops of soul essence blood, Wang Lin looked at the wandering soul. He rubbed his chin and sent out a message to his 3 neighbors. I want this wandering soul. The 3 neighbors pondered for a bit and then sent their reply. Newly born soul devourer, there is one thing you don't T understand. Once you're reborn as a soul, you can T leave this place. A wandering soul is also a type of soul. They aren't T as strong as devils, but anything with a soul is their food, and likewise, they are our food. US soul devourers can T directly devour people's souls. We can only devour wandering souls to make us stronger. With a powerful wandering soul, these low-level cultivators don't T have any chance of resisting. Even if higher-level cultivators aren't T scared, as long as there are enough wandering souls, the result is the same. And wandering souls to us are weapons, slaves, and also food. Have you considered what the consequences of a wandering soul appearing in the world of the living would be? Newly born soul devourer, let me tell you clearly, if wandering souls got loose in the world of living, even if there aren't T a lot of them, it would be a catastrophe. Wandering souls in the world of the living are also called devils. If a lot of them enter the world of living will become a world of decay, just like where we were before. And among the devils, one of them will become a soul devourer. There is a law between the world of living and the world of decay. Anyone who tries to break that law will be killed. These were things that Wang Lin didn't know. He pondered for a while and asked, then what kind of place is this foreign battleground? This chaotic place is opened by powerful cultivators from the world of the living. It exists in the space between the world of the living and the world of decay, but even so, wandering souls can T normally enter here. Only after we have entered can they enter. Even you can T leave at all, not to mention that wandering soul. If you like that wandering soul, I can gift it to you, but in the end, you still have to return to the world of decay. That is the mission of a soul devourer. The voices of the 3 neighbors slowly disappeared as Wang Lin silently stood there with an unsettled expression. The 3 of them noticed that Wang Lin was standing there silently for a long time. Their hearts pounded and they became very nervous. Lin Tao was thinking that Wang Lin might still not feel safe. He was wondering what he should do if Wang Lin wanted to kill him. Zhou Zihong was thinking about what if he wanted her. She revealed a struggling expression. Xianxia was even more nervous as he thought about even more stuff. He was not only afraid for his life, but was afraid that Wang Lin would give up Ma Liang's body to steal his. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy as he flew toward the transfer array. The 3 slaves quickly followed him, and the wandering soul carefully followed far in the back. The more they moved forward, the more bodies they saw. But as Wang Lin got closer, all of the wandering souls got out of the way and didn't dare to block him. Such a strange scene naturally attracted the attention of the surrounding cultivators. Someone took the lead and groups of cultivators began to follow the 4 of them. Wang Lin didn't even bother to look at them as he continued to fly. The wandering souls hesitated for a bit and carefully devoured a cultivator that was in the back. After they realized that Wang Lin didn't care, they immediately jumped on the cultivators. Screams came from the group following Wang Lin as the remaining cultivators escaped with their own groups. One day later, the transfer array came into sight. There were even more mummified bodies and the area was filled with wandering souls. As a result, this became a restricted area that no cultivator dared to approach. Those who were lucky enough to make it here were swarmed by wandering souls the moment they entered the area. In the area within a 10-kilometer radius, there was not a single living person other than those lucky people that had reached the transfer array early and Wang Lin's group of 4. Looking at the transfer array from far away, he said, "The 3 of you entered the transfer array." The 3 didn't dare to refuse. They clenched their teeth and flew ahead. Good thing the wandering souls seemed to have received orders and didn't attack the 3 as they safely made it into the transfer array. After that, Wang Lin sat down cross-legged nearby and stared at the transfer array. His hand reached out and a trembling wandering soul immediately flew toward him. Wang Lin pointed toward the transfer array. The The wandering soul tried to struggle, but it charged toward the transfer array. International Children's Day brings tears and wishing for the like button for the video. Chapter, Gathering Red Mosquito Beasts. The crack to the wind celestial realm seemed to have been opened by force by someone, and it would ferociously devour all living creatures. The moment the red fog was spewed out and the red mosquito beasts appeared, Wang Lin summoned his own mosquito beast without any hesitation. As he expected, the pale gold mosquito beast immediately shook those red mosquito beasts using their aura and special sense. This caused the red mosquito beasts to immediately fly around them. The ranks between the mosquito beasts were very strict, with one rank holding absolute power over those below it. It was just like how Li Yuanlei and them saw it. The red mosquitoes indeed acted like they were greeting their king. However, they weren't greeting Wang Lin, but the mosquito king below him. After entering the crack, what appeared before Wang Lin was the same as what he saw with his divine sense. The world was covered in a yellow light, but it didn't cover everything. There was also strange, red mist floating in the air. It was moving at a shocking speed due to the wind. After entering the wind celestial realm, Wang Lin could feel the dense celestial spiritual energy in the wind. Although it was in ruins, it was well preserved, and the deeper one went, the more this was true. What Wang Lin felt the most here was wind. Endless wind, boundless wind. There was wind everywhere in the wind celestial realm, and there was no dust on the earth, as if it was all blown away by the endless wind. All the clothes on his body made flapping sounds as the wind blew on them, and his white hair danced in the air. The wind would sometimes be light and sometimes heavy. When it was light, it was as if countless small hands were gently brushing by. However, if it was heavy, it was like a hammer or mace. When it smashed down, it could collapse the body and smash one's origin soul. This entire wind celestial realm was worthy of its name, as it was filled with wind. It was as if a hole had opened up and the wind that had been gathered for countless years was released. Solitary and lonely were the first things Wang Lin felt when he entered the wind celestial realm and closed his eyes as the wind blew in his face. As he moved forward, the almost mosquitoes surrounded Wang Lin. As their roars echoed, the mosquito king under Wang Lin revealed an excited expression. It let out an earth-shattering hiss that echoed across the land. As the hiss echoed, a red cloud that was being pushed by wind in the distance suddenly collapsed. About 100 red lights flew out of it and turned into ferocious mosquito beasts. These mosquito beasts' gazes all locked onto the mosquito king under Wang Lin, and they began to roar. However, these roars were filled with fear and the intent to surrender. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He had already found that there was something strange about the mosquito beasts in the wind celestial realm. Although they were ferocious, there was a bit of celestial spiritual energy inside their bodies. This was easy to explain because they had lived in the wind celestial realm for so long, so celestial spiritual energy would naturally gather inside their bodies. But what really caught Wang Lin's attention was the strength of the red mosquito beasts. He had seen these red mosquito beasts before in the demon spirit land, but, likely due to the location, they weren't very strong. However, every single mosquito beast here was equal to a Nirvana Scryer cultivator. Some of the few dark red mosquito beasts were equal to late-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivators. This discovery made Wang Lin excited, although only a few of these mosquito beasts were equal to late-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivators. Wang Lin knew that this was only the outer region of the wind celestial realm. The red mosquito beasts were the lowest existences among the mosquito beasts. Wang Lin understood that the cultivators outside the crack didn't need to be so nervous about these mosquito beasts if they weren't near the crack, because these mosquito beasts weren't that strong. However, because they were outside the crack, they had to retreat, because if just one escaped, then what awaited them inside the celestial realm would be countless mosquito beasts hunting them. Just a hiss from one mosquito beast could attract tens of thousands of mosquito beasts rushing out from the celestial realm. In truth, the mosquito beasts were a very strange species. At some stages, the mosquito king wasn't the strongest existence. There would often be guardians that were much more powerful than the mosquito king. However, a mosquito king had the unique ability, and that was metamorphosis. Almost all mosquito beasts were born with a limit that they couldn't break. If they were born red, then until they died, at most they could only reach dark red. Once they went through metamorphosis, This mosquito would have the right to become a king of their tribe. Although they might not be as strong at the start, in the end they would become the strongest. More importantly, once a mosquito beast went through metamorphosis, they would naturally give off a pressure that affected the soul. If another mosquito was stronger, as long as the difference wasn't too big, they would have to obey under this pressure. It was also because of this pressure that the moment two mosquito kings met, a drastic change would occur. They would either get along or begin a life and death battle. The winner would devour the loser, and their strength would increase greatly. The rest of the mosquito beasts wouldn't participate in the battle between two kings. The mosquitoes belonging to the loser would come under the control of the winner. Wang Lin had done a lot of preparation and research about the mosquito beasts before coming to the wind celestial realm. The moment the mosquito king let out a cry, those hundreds of red mosquitoes immediately flew over. There were almost mosquito beasts around Wang Lin, and were dark red ones. Just these were far from enough. Wang Lin's goal was the more powerful mosquito beasts deep inside the wind celestial realm. He recalled the dark purple mosquito beasts coming from that mysterious planet in Tusi's memories. Those mosquito beasts could make someone as powerful as Tusi flee. Just thinking about it made Wang Lin excited. This was the main reason he had forced the Mosquito King to undergo metamorphosis. Looking at the dark red mosquito beasts, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. After pondering a bit, he didn't go deeper but wandered around the edge of the wind celestial realm. After several hours, Wang Lin moved around with the mosquito beasts and saw another cloud of red fog in the distance. Upon seeing the red fog, Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and the Mosquito King under him shot out and let out a roar at the red fog. Under its roar, the large red fog suddenly stopped and collapsed into nearly 100 red mosquito beasts. They headed for the Mosquito King, and after a moment of struggle, they immediately surrendered. Wang Lin's gaze swept past them. He found 6 dark red mosquito beasts among them and became slightly excited. Wang Lin felt that as the Mosquito King gathered more mosquitoes, his overall strength was increasing rapidly. Now he had almost mosquito beasts equal to Nirvana Scryer cultivators, and mosquito beasts equal to late-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivators. With this force, Wang Lin wouldn't need to move at all to instantly kill a Nirvana Cleanser cultivator. It's still too little. I need a little more, if I had, of these red mosquito beasts that equal Nirvana Scryer cultivators. Then even Nirvana Shatterer cultivators would have to run from me. If I can get red mosquito beasts, then even late-stage Nirvana Shatterer cultivators would stay far away from me. If I had more mosquito beasts, so what if they were at the Heaven-S Blight stage? If I have million, Wang Lin had waited a very long time for this. At this moment, he took a deep breath as he flew off into the distance with mosquito beasts. The mosquito beast's wings caused a thunderous rumble that echoed across the land and gave off a powerful pressure. Wang Lin's eyes were like lightning as moved like lightning around the outer region of the wind celestial realm. It didn't take long for him to see another cloud of red fog being blown by the wind. The Mosquito King's pressure spread out, and the red fog immediately stopped. A moment later, the fog collapsed into a large amount of mosquito beasts, but this time 2 rays of red light shot out. They didn't charge at Wang Lin but quickly retreated with struggle in their eyes. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and the Mosquito King under him shot out toward the 2 retreating brownish-red mosquito beasts. It let out a roar, and the powerful pressure of the Mosquito King swept the area. When the pressure descended, the 2 brownish-red mosquito beasts trembled and began to hiss. A moment later, the struggle disappeared as they surrendered, and they flew next to the Mosquito King. Wang Lin's divine sense spread across the 2 brownish-red mosquito beasts, and his face lit up. These 2 dark red mosquito beasts were almost equal to peak Nirvana Scryer cultivators, and their ferocious auras made them even more fierce and terrifying. Now, Wang Lin looked at the dense mosquito beast herd around him. His mood became better and better as he looked at the 2 brownish-red mosquito beasts and the almost dark red mosquito beasts. He wasn't in a rush to enter the depths of the wind celestial realm, so he circled the outer region. Along the way, he encountered many clouds of red fog with large amounts of mosquito beasts inside. When they saw Wang Lin's Mosquito King, they would tremble and surround Wang Lin. After 2 days, Wang Lin had almost mosquito beasts around him. The mosquito beasts looked like a red cloud covering the sky. quickly approaching 3,900 words, Leo fierce as a tiger, wishing for sharing, for likes on the video, for channel followers. Chapter 1236, Another Mosquito King. With Wang Lin's speed, they made a large circle around the Wind Celestial Realm. While searching for mosquito beasts, Wang Lin also discovered some celestial jades. Maybe it was due to there being too many mosquito beasts, preventing cultivators from entering, but Wang Lin harvested a lot of celestial jades. However, what made him gradually frown was that fewer and fewer mosquito herds were being brought over by the wind. He would often have to fly for several hours before spotting another herd. This was a very abnormal phenomenon. If the Wind Celestial Realm only had this many mosquito beasts, it would be impossible to stop the cultivators of the Cloud Sea and make their expressions change the moment they talked about the Wind Celestial Realm. On this day, Wang Lin floated in the air and looked into the depths of the Wind Celestial Realm. During his 2 days of observation, most of the mosquito beasts in the Wind Celestial Realm gathered in the inner part. As for the clouds of red fog he had seen so far, the wind had blown them here from the inner region, and that's why there weren't too many of them. There is a large amount of mosquito beasts in the depths of the Wind Celestial Realm. There will certainly be more powerful mosquito beasts, and even other mosquito kings inside. If it's like this, then I can just rush in recklessly. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he thought of something. The Mosquito King immediately hissed, and one of the red mosquitoes next to it suddenly let out a sharp roar. This roar had a strange penetrating power. It sounded as if it had encountered a life-and-death situation and was calling for its companions. This roar formed invisible ripples and spread across the Wind Celestial Realm. Wang Lin took a deep breath and stared into the distance. Shortly after, there was a thunderous rumble as a monstrous red light rushed over from the horizon. They were far away, but the red light was heaven-shaking. There were also crazed roars coming from the red light that would cause the mind of anyone who heard to tremble. Even the sky shook, and large amounts of spatial cracks appeared. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but his pupils shrank. There were almost red mosquito beasts inside. This was only the first wave. Wang Lin could imagine that soon, even more mosquito beasts would appear, and it wouldn't just be red mosquito beasts. Even more powerful mosquito beasts would appear. A moment later, the almost 1,000 mosquito beasts closed in, but the moment they closed in, a mosquito beast flew out. A pale golden light shined and a pressure immediately spread out. Among the almost 1,000 mosquito beasts, there were nearly 100 dark red mosquito beasts, and more than 10 brownish red mosquito beasts. Under this pressure they all trembled. Those red mosquito beasts immediately surrendered, and the nearly dark red mosquito beasts struggled for a bit before surrendering. Only those dozen or so brownish red mosquito beasts immediately retreated and were about to escape. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He was about to signal the Mosquito King to chase, but at this moment, another violent roar came from the sky. Far away, there was a large mosquito beast herd with no less than 10,000 mosquito beasts charging over. This scene immediately made Wang Lin's scalp go numb. He knew that it would be extremely difficult for the Mosquito King to gather 10,000 mosquito beasts in its current state. Wang Lin also spotted a large amount of blue and even a small amount of white lights inside this herd. Without hesitation, Wang Lin moved, and the nearly 2,000 mosquito beasts surrounded him. He hid himself and sent out a command. The Mosquito King immediately retreated with the 2,000 mosquito beasts and avoided that large mosquito herd. Fortunately, the large herd of mosquito beasts only looked around for a bit after arriving. When they couldn't find any enemy, they flew away, but this dense mosquito herd was engraved in Wang Lin's memory. In particular, those blue mosquito beasts within the herd had auras no weaker than that of Nirvana cleanser cultivators. This made Wang Lin's heart beat in excitement. The blue mosquito beasts were far stronger than the red ones, so their numbers shouldn't be high. However, with how large of a population the mosquito beasts had, there should be plenty of them. What made Wang Lin even more excited were the mosquitoes with translucent white bodies within the white light. The aura these mosquito beasts gave off was enough for greed to arise in Wang Lin's mind. It was the aura of Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. Among those mosquito beasts, there were nearly white mosquito beasts. If he could control that force, then it would better than controlling tens of thousands of red mosquito beasts. This wind celestial realm is a place of life and death, but for me it is the biggest treasure trove I have seen in my life. Wang Lin took a deep breath and suppressed the excitement in his heart. I wonder what level of cultivation the purple mosquito beasts in 2CS memories match. Wang Lin pondered, but there was still one thing that puzzled him. He looked at the Mosquito King beside him. He had found this mosquito on planet Suzaku, but he still didn't know why this mosquito beast had appeared there. There was also another thing that puzzled Wang Lin greatly. His mosquito beast had reached purple and was now even gold in color, but it was far weaker than the ones in the wind celestial realm. If not for the aura of a Mosquito King, Wang Lin would even doubt if his mosquito beast was real. This matter had troubled Wang Lin for a long time, and even thinking about it now, he still found no answer, so he gave up. After the large herd left, he took the 2,000 mosquito beasts and flew into the depths of the wind celestial realm. The scene of tens of thousands of mosquitoes coming stopped Wang Lin from acting on the idea of luring mosquito beasts over. Once an accident happened, the cost would be too great, and once it happened there would be no way to control it. After contemplating for a bit, Wang Lin decided to slowly enter the depths of the wind celestial realm. On the 5th day after entering the wind celestial realm, as Wang Lin slowly moved toward the inner region, he was still on the outer part of the celestial realm. Only now he was a bit closer to the center. There was a celestial realm fragment floating here. The moment they got close to it, there was a flash of blue light. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, and he became excited. He clearly saw a mosquito beast inside the blue light. This mosquito was completely blue and gave off the aura of Nirvana Cleanser Cultivator. It wasn't moving in a group, but by itself. As it flew, the Mosquito King under Wang Lin let out a hiss. The blue mosquito immediately stopped and stared at Wang Lin and the Mosquito King below him. There was confusion and struggle in its eyes. Just at this moment, the Mosquito King under Wang Lin let out a roar and turned into a ray of pale gold light that shot toward the blue mosquito beast. It instantly closed in and used its large mouth to whip the blue mosquito beast. The blue mosquito beast let out a miserable hiss, but it didn't dare to avoid the hit, so it was knocked back several hundred feet before stopping. The struggle in its eyes weakened, but was still there. It suddenly let out a violent roar as it turned around and fled into the distance. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and the Mosquito King below him gave off an even brighter pale gold glow. It let out an even more powerful roar. The moment this roar echoed, the surrounding red mosquito beasts trembled, and their eyes filled with fear and awe. In the distance, the blue mosquito beast's body trembled as if there were two different ideals colliding inside its body under this pressure. Slowly, the blue mosquito beast no longer escaped but slowly flew toward the Mosquito King and revealed the appearance of surrender. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he jumped off from the Mosquito King and closed in on the blue mosquito. The blue mosquito became ferocious and revealed a cold gaze. Although it had surrendered to the Mosquito King, it was still ferocious toward Wang Lin. However, as the blue mosquito beast's mouth swept toward Wang Lin, he didn't even stop, letting out a cold snort. He lifted his right hand and pointed with his finger. The blue mosquito suddenly trembled and remained motionless, as if it was frozen in place. Then Wang Lin raised his right hand and placed it on the blue mosquito beast's head. His divine sense rushed into the mosquito's mind. With his understanding of the mosquito beasts and his powerful cultivation, he easily found its memories and began to search through them. After a long time, Wang Lin raised his hand and began to ponder. When the blue mosquito beast recovered, it became ferocious once more and was about to attack. However, at this moment, the Mosquito King let out a roar, and the blue mosquito beast immediately became obedient and flew next to the red mosquitoes. The moment it got close, all the red mosquito beasts scattered. They didn't dare to get close at all. Just a lone, light blue mosquito beast is already this difficult to control. If there are more, it will be even more difficult to make them obey. This is related to the fact my mosquito beast wasn't raised here. From the memories of this blue mosquito beast, there is actually a Mosquito King not far away. This wind celestial realm is very large, so although there aren't a lot of Mosquito Kings, there still should be some according to the habit of the mosquito beasts. If their Mosquito King dies and is absorbed by my mosquito beast, then they should accept the control of my mosquito beast. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he thought of an idea. Only, this idea was a bit too bold. While pondering, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked into the distance. After a long time, He mercilessly clenched his teeth and flew down toward the celestial fragment below. Beside him, the 2,000 mosquitoes roared and followed the Mosquito King under Wang Lin. Wang Lin was at the center of a red cloud. If a cultivator came, it would be difficult to see anyone inside. Sitting on the ground, Wang Lin's hands formed a seal and pointed to between his eyebrows. His body trembled and the Star of Law appeared. It rotated between his eyebrows before flying out and landing on the Mosquito King's body. At the same time, Wang Lin's origin soul flew out and entered the Star of Law on the Mosquito King. The Mosquito King trembled, then its eyes lit up and it let out a roar. The pale golden light from its body gradually hid itself before it was completely gone. Then a blue light appeared and surrounded its body. At this moment, it looked like a blue mosquito beast without any flaw. Even the pressure of a Mosquito King was completely sealed by Wang Lin's origin soul, and none of it leaked out. A moment later, the Mosquito King let out a roar and flew out. It flew half a circle in the air before sending out the order to protect Wang Lin's body. Then it flew off into the distance. Although it had left, the almost mosquito beasts obeyed the Mosquito King's order. No matter what happened, even if they all died, they would protect Wang Lin's body. The blue mosquito beast became the most powerful among the mosquito beasts. Although it still released a fierce aura toward Wang Lin's body, right now it was the closest to it, and it was closely guarding it. Wang Lin's origin soul entered the Star of Law and attached itself to the Mosquito King's body. It turned into a ray of blue light and flew across the wind celestial realm. The mosquito beast seemed very happy and let out roars as it flew. However, under Wang Lin's seal, it no longer gave off the pressure of a Mosquito King. It looked like an ordinary blue mosquito beast without any abnormalities. After several hours of flying, more than 100 blue mosquito beasts closed in. Each one of them was extremely ferocious, and their mouths gave off a fierce aura. Wang Lin even saw a deep blue mosquito beast among them that gave off an aura equal to that of a mid-stage Nirvana cleanser cultivator. They flew by the Mosquito King and didn't stop at all. Only the deep blue mosquito beast looked over with a hint of confusion when it passed by. Wang Lin controlled the mosquito beast and didn't stop at all as they charged ahead. Along the way, he saw 3 waves of 100 blue mosquito herds and was extremely shocked. No wonder even Tusei had to escape in embarrassment back then. Although these mosquito beasts aren't strong alone, their numbers are simply too much. And this is only the outer region. Once I am deeper inside, once a large number of blue and white mosquito beasts appear, I fear not even Heaven-esque blight cultivators would have a chance of surviving. As Wang Lin flew with the mosquito beast, he looked around. There was no aura of cultivators around here, make it clear that very few cultivators could come here and stay for a long period of time. This place was the world of mosquitoes. As the Mosquito King flew ahead, what appeared before Wang Lin was a large mountain range at the edge of the continent. The mountain seemed to pierce the sky and gave off a majestic aura. This is the place. Wang Lin gathered his origin soul within the Star of Law and began to carefully observe. Outside this mountain range, there were thousands of red mosquito beasts, and there were hundreds of blue mosquito beasts as well. The blue mosquito beasts were extremely arrogant. Often when the red mosquito beast encountered the blue mosquito beast, the red mosquito beast would have to quickly avoid them. Deeper inside, flying above the mountain, Wang Lin saw 2 white mosquito beasts. They weren't flying, but were standing on the side of the mountain. Their large mouths were rubbing the mountain, making sharp sounds. Tears streaming long, wishing for the like button for the video. Chapter 1237, Closing In. The Mosquito King that turned blue circled around the mountain range and slowly moved toward the mountain. The moment it closed in, those herds of red mosquitoes immediately looked over with gloomy gazes. The Mosquito King let out a cry, and the red mosquito beasts all moved aside, opening a path. The difference in ranks made it so they wouldn't dare to stop the blue mosquito, letting it fly by. Those hundreds of blue mosquito beasts near the mountain all looked over with ferocious gazes, and hisses echoed. The ferocious aura immediately increased as they immediately recognized that this mosquito didn't belong to their herd. The hostility was obvious, and a few even charged out at Wang Lin's mosquito. These mosquito beasts moved like blue meteors and instantly closed in. However, when they got close, The Mosquito King released a fierce aura and quickly dodged. Then its mouth swept out and stabbed into the closest blue mosquito beast. The blue mosquito beast let out a roar, but not only did it not retreat, it charged at the Mosquito King. However, the moment it got close, the star of law formed from Wang Lin's origin soul flashed for a moment. At the same time, a pressure enveloped the blue mosquito beast's body. The blue mosquito beast's body trembled and stopped for a moment. Just at this moment, the Mosquito King's sharp mouth stabbed deep into the blue mosquito beast's body. The Mosquito King immediately inhaled, and the blue mosquito beast's body trembled before immediately turning into a skeleton. All of its essence and blood were absorbed by the Mosquito King. The three blue mosquito beasts that had also flown over let out a cry and flew at the Mosquito King. There was still blood on the Mosquito King's mouth as its eyes revealed a fierce gaze. It let out a roar as it rushed out and collided with one of them. They collided with a bang. The blue mosquito beast was obviously no match and was knocked away. Before it could recover, the Mosquito King's mouth penetrated the blue mosquito beast and inhaled all its essence before flying off toward the next blue mosquito at an even faster speed. All of this happened in a flash, fast beyond imagination. In an instant, the four blue mosquito beasts died by one, leaving only the Mosquito King buzzing in the air. It stared coldly at the hundreds of blue mosquito beasts ahead. Song Luhai was hiding himself under a stone below the mountain, keeping his aura hidden. He was an elder of the Silent Soul sect. Rather than participating in the competition that was occurring in the Rank 8 sects, he was hiding here. He had been here for 3 months and was cautiously moving forward. His goal was the king among this mosquito herd. Song Luhai believed he understood the mosquito beasts very well. His goal was to capture a Mosquito King to verify the speculation in his heart. However, just catching a Mosquito King was so difficult that it was almost impossible to do. First, it was extremely difficult to get past all the mosquito beasts to get to where the Mosquito King was. But even if he reached that place, if he couldn't capture it in one try, then any mistake would alert the rest of the mosquito beasts. At that time, he wasn't sure he could escape alive. 3 months ago, Song Luhai had locked onto this mosquito herd and was determined that there was a Mosquito King here. Therefore, he spent 3 months of time to sneak here while not disturbing the red or blue mosquito beasts. However, he was facing a dilemma. It was all because of the 2 white mosquito beasts that had flown here half a month ago. Song Luhai had only seen them once before, and he could clearly feel the aura and pressure of Nirvana Shatterer cultivators coming from them. Song Luhai did a comprehensive preparation for this trip. He analyzed that he had a 30% chance of successfully completing his objective. Once his speculation was verified, his name would be known throughout the entire Rank region. Even those old monsters would have to avoid him. Even the Rank region would favor him. All those various benefits were what had lured Song Luhai to take this risk. However, the arrival of those 2 white mosquito beasts messed everything up. Song Luhai still had a feeling that those 2 white mosquito beasts had become vaguely aware of his existence, but hadn't found his hiding place, so they hadn't moved. But if he were to move an inch, they would immediately detect him. Song Luhai's heart felt very bitter throughout this half-month. He was very tense and didn't dare to move at all. Although he was an elder of the Silent Soul sect, he was near the bottom of the elder hierarchy, only at the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatterer. Just as Song Luhai was getting desperate, he saw a blue mosquito beast fly over. Originally, he didn't care and didn't have the time to care about something not related to his own survival. However, what happened next shocked him greatly. He personally saw that lone blue mosquito beast instantly suck dry 4 other blue mosquito beasts of the same rank. It was extremely fierce and seemed like it wanted to challenge them. This discovery immediately caused Song Luhai's mind to tremble, and at the same time he vaguely felt like his chance had come. The Mosquito King's roar echoed across the world. At the same time, one of the 2 white mosquito beasts coldly looked at the Mosquito King. In a flash, a ray of white light charged through the group of blue mosquito beasts. The blue mosquito beasts moved out of the way as the white mosquito charged directly at the Mosquito King. Before it got close, an earth-shattering roar that carried an intense impact collided with the Mosquito King. There was a thunderous bang as the Mosquito King was knocked back a few dozen feet. It let out a roar and charged forward again. After the white mosquito beast knocked away the Mosquito King, it floated in the air and coldly looked at the Mosquito King with a trace of killing intent. It then charged out once more like a bolt of white lightning at the Mosquito King. The moment the two mosquito beasts collided, the Star of Law formed by Wang Lin began to rotate like crazy, and large amounts of origin energy enveloped the Mosquito King's body. The origin energy crashed into the white mosquito at the moment of impact. The moment the origin energy appeared, the surrounding mosquito beasts roared loudly. The hundreds of blue mosquito beasts immediately surrounded the Mosquito King and stared at it. There was a thunderous bang as the white mosquito beast trembled and was knocked back. Its eyes exposed a cold gaze as it flapped its wings, causing the hook-shaped hair on its body to become straight. This made it look like the white mosquito beast was covered with spears. Then those hairs scattered. At a glance, it looked like the white mosquito beast had swelled up. The white mosquito beast charged at the Mosquito King. The Mosquito King's body charged out without any intent to retreat. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world as the two mosquito beasts began a life-and-death battle. The two mosquito beasts collided dozens of times in a short period of time. The rumbles became more intense as the earth-shattering collisions echoed. The white mosquito beast was knocked back. There were many injuries on its body, which was covered in blood. The Mosquito King was also in a sorry state and looked a bit dispirited, but the ferociousness in its eyes became even stronger. This time, it unexpectedly didn't wait for Wang Lin's order before it charged at the retreating white mosquito beast. The white mosquito beast let out a roar. All the hairs on its body stood straight before they all fell off and flew around like flying swords. It was like a powerful spell, and all the hairs shot toward the Mosquito King. As the Mosquito King moved forward, not only did it not slow down, it flew even faster. Wang Lin's Mosquito King was still in its growing phase and hadn't experienced many battles against its own clan, but it was learning. The moment it charged out, all of its hook-shaped hairs grew under a blue glow. In an instant, they grew until they were dozens of feet long. The moment it rushed out, it learned from the white mosquito beast. All of its hair fell off and shot forward. There was a thunderous bang as the two rains of hair collided, and a series of rumbles echoed. The huge impact caused the surrounding mosquito beasts to all retreat. The Mosquito King became even more ferocious as it charged through the collision of hairs and charged at the white mosquito beast. As if had gone mad, it mercilessly slammed into the white mosquito beast, and its mouth kept trying to find a chance to stab into the white mosquito beast's body. The white mosquito beast retreated anxiously, but just at this moment, an extremely powerful aura came out from the mountain. This aura contained a pressure that all mosquito beasts had to submit to. The moment this aura appeared, the other white mosquito beast flew into the air and let out a roar. A large crack appeared on the top of the mountain, extending to the bottom of the mountain. It was as if someone had just ripped the mountain open. A ray of purple light shot out from the crack in the mountain. At the same time, an ancient aura spread out and purple mist came out from the crack. This mist was dense. After it appeared, it quickly withdrew. From inside the mist, a ferocious-looking mosquito beast about feet large flew out. This mosquito beast was covered in purple hairs. Although they were drooping and looked messy, the moment this mosquito beast appeared, all the surrounding mosquito beasts, red or blue, quieted down. Song Luhai's pupils shrank as he stared at the purple mosquito beast with messy hair. There was a flash of greed in his eyes. Mosquito King. This purple Mosquito King's indifferent gaze casually looked at where Song Luhai was hiding before falling on Wang Lin's mosquito beast. After a long time, it let out a low hiss. The like button for the VIDEO is in danger. Urgently wishing for the like button for the VIDEO's aid. Chapter New King. This was a roar that contained the might of a Mosquito King. Under this pressure, all mosquito beasts must obey and become part of this Mosquito King's herd. Wang Lin's mosquito beast's actions had obtained the recognition of the purple Mosquito King, so it personally appeared to accept it as a member of its herd. This was also Wang Lin's goal. As the Mosquito King let out its roar, Wang Lin's mosquito beast also let out a roar, acting as if it was surrendering. Wang Lin controlled the Mosquito King to slowly fly forward, closing in on the purple Mosquito King. The moment the purple Mosquito King appeared, Wang Lin clearly felt the aura of mid-stage Nirvana Shatter Cultivator from it, so this Mosquito King wasn't very strong. This mountain was the home of its herd. It was clear that it would spend most of its time deep inside the mountain, struggling with metamorphosis, and would not casually come out. Although Wang Lin's mosquito beast was weaker, it had transformed into a golden mosquito beast. So it was difficult for this purple mosquito king to notice that Wang Lin's mosquito was hiding its aura. Wang Lin's mosquito beast's movement didn't catch the attention of the surrounding mosquito beasts. Even the two white mosquitoes didn't notice, and only coldly stared at Wang Lin's mosquito king. Wang Lin's mosquito beast used 3 breaths of time to close this short distance. At this moment, Wang Lin's mosquito beast was less than feet away from the purple mosquito king. The purple mosquito king's eyes revealed a hint of doubt, and it let out another low roar. Wang Lin's mosquito beast also roared in response, but then it suddenly sped up and crossed this 100 feet distance. At this instant, all the surrounding mosquito beasts began to roar fiercely. The two white mosquito beasts released ferocious gazes and were about to charge out. Even the purple mosquito king's aura immediately became cold. However, just at this moment, the Star of Law with Wang Lin's origin soul inside rotated rapidly and flew out. It released a harsh glow and transformed into Wang Lin's origin soul. His appearance immediately caused an uproar from the surrounding mosquito beasts. They all rushed over, hissing like crazy. However, none of this distracted Wang Lin at all. Although this trip was dangerous, Wang Lin had calculated that he had an almost success rate. Everything could be described by fast. Fast! The moment Wang Lin's origin soul took form, he stepped forward and waved his right hand. Large amounts of origin energy gathered and swept out as a gust of wind. The two white mosquito beasts beside the purple mosquito king were hit by the wind and pushed away. The moment the two white mosquito beasts were knocked away, Wang Lin didn't stop and arrived before the retreating purple mosquito king. His eyes lit up as he lifted his left hand and thrust his left palm at the void. Origin energy began to gather like crazy, and at the same time, Wang Lin's right hand quickly pointed to the back of his left hand. Once his finger landed, the heavens and earth trembled and endless origin energy gathered on the finger like crazy. The mark of the Star of Law flashed on the back of Wang Lin's left hand. It moved to his index finger and began to flash. The purple mosquito king immediately felt a life and death crisis it had never felt before in its life. This feeling was very strong, making it roar violently as it retreated like crazy. Wang Lin didn't stop. His right hand drew an arc and pointed out once more. When the second finger landed, it was as if countless bolts of thunder had exploded in the sky. It felt like even the earth itself was trembling. Another Star of Law appeared on the back of his left hand. It moved to his middle finger and flashed violently. As he moved forward, Wang Lin's right hand moved again, and his finger landed once more. This time the earth seemed to crack and a thunderous rumble echoed across the heavens and earth. A large vortex appeared in the sky and gathered large amounts of origin energy that seemed to enter the back of his left hand with a movement of his right hand. A third Star of Law appeared and stopped on the ring finger of the left hand. All of this happened in an instant. Wang Lin took 3 steps in the sky, and the purple mosquito king retreated hundreds of feet. Its body flashed purple and it was flying downwards. The surrounding mosquito beasts were rushing over like crazy in an attempt to stop this from happening. They seemed to want to tear Wang Lin into pieces. Even farther away, as the mosquitoes roared, the sky seemed to distort as even more mosquitoes rushed over. Wang Lin's expression was cold as he took a 4th step. His right hand reached at the sky, causing the sky to rumble violently. The vortex that appeared seemed to have been grabbed by Wang Lin and then rapidly shrank. With that, Wang Lin gathered the power of the 4th finger, and the power entered the back of his left hand. This 4th Star of Law formed. At this moment, 4 of Wang Lin's fingers contained the power of law. His hand seemed to have become the hand of law. The moment the 4th finger landed, a handprint landed on the purple mosquito king, creating a thunderous rumble. Although all of this sounds slow, it all happened in 3 breaths. The handprint landed on the purple mosquito king. At this moment, even the wind in the wind celestial realm paused for a moment. A thunderous rumble echoed as popping sounds echoed inside the purple mosquito king's body. Even large amounts of cracks appeared on its huge mouth. A clear handprint appeared between its eyebrows, causing its body to collapse at a rapid pace. A lot of blood gushed out from the handprint, making the purple mosquito king let out a mournful cry. As its large body quickly retreated, large amounts of purple mist escaped from its body, but it quickly withdrew back into its body. This happened 3 times in a short period of time. Every time the purple mist appeared and withdrew, it would make the handprint between his eyebrows a bit more blurry. It was as if this purple mosquito king was using this method to rapidly heal. At the same time, as it retreated, all the hair on its body stood up and law seemed to surround its body. A phenomenon that only occurred when Nirvana Shatterer cultivators were about to use spells appeared. At this moment, the two white mosquito beasts that had been pushed away by Wang Lin charged in like crazy. The hundreds of blue mosquito beasts that gave off the aura of Nirvana cleanser cultivators desperately charged in. The thousands of red mosquito beasts circled like crazy. All the hairs on their bodies stood up as they stared at Wang Lin, and their hisses were earth-shattering. Even farther away, the ripple in the horizon distorted even more as a boundless, red ocean was rapidly closing in. Just at this instant, the blue light on Wang Lin's mosquito beast flashed and surrounded the area. However, the next instant, this blue light collapsed and was replaced with a golden light. It became the only golden light within this 5,000-kilometer area. The mosquito beast in the golden light was like the real king, and it let out a thunderous roar. This was the cry of the king, the roar of a mosquito king. The moment this golden light appeared, the red mosquito beasts trembled and unexpectedly stopped. Their eyes were filled with awe, but there was even more fear in them as they looked at the golden light. The hundreds of blue mosquito beasts also paused for a moment while charging. There was struggle in their eyes, but they didn't dare to approach. Even the two white mosquito beasts stopped and circled around them. Even their roars had weakened a lot. The retreating purple mosquito beast that was healing was startled, but soon its eyes revealed a monstrous fierce gaze. It began to roar at the same time as Wang Lin's mosquito beast began to roar. All of this was changed greatly because Wang Lin's mosquito king had released its aura. This was no longer a battle between a cultivator and the purple mosquito king, but a battle between two mosquito kings. No mosquito beast could participate in the battle between two mosquito kings. They didn't dare to participate, and they couldn't participate. This was a vital part of Wang Lin's plan. Wang Lin's mosquito king released the golden light, then it let out a roar and charged out like a bolt of golden lightning. It charged directly at the seriously injured purple mosquito king. At the same time, Wang Lin's origin soul rapidly dissipated, turning back into the Star of Law and fell on the mosquito beast's body. However, the moment it fell, Wang Lin executed the last part of this plan. The stop spell! His origin soul's right hand raised and pointed at the purple mosquito king. The moment his finger pointed, the heavens and earth trembled. No origin energy came, but endless celestial spiritual energy rushed over. He was using the celestial spiritual energy of the celestial realm to achieve the peak power of the stop spell. When the finger fell, the purple mosquito king's body trembled, and all its movements were sealed. The moment its body was stopped, Wang Lin's mosquito beast closed in. Its golden mouth stabbed into the purple mosquito king's body, then it began to inhale like crazy. The purple mosquito king's body trembled and rapidly withered before it completely disappeared. Even its body turned into essence that was all absorbed by Wang Lin's mosquito king. A roar filled with joy came from Wang Lin's mosquito king. Along with this earth-shattering roar was a powerful pressure that surrounded the area. The birth of a new mosquito king. The mind of Song Luhai, who was hiding inside the mountain, trembled. Everything that he saw had broadened his horizons. Song Luhai immediately recognized that the origin soul that appeared wasn't the spell of a mosquito king, but a real origin soul. There is a cultivator's origin soul in that mosquito king. Song Luhai's eyes lit up as he stared at the mosquito king, and his heart skipped a beat. The like button for the VIDEO has dropped to 5th place. Tears brimming and wishing for the like button for the VIDEO. Chapter 1239. Origin Sect. The pale golden light spread out from the mosquito beast's body and enveloped the area. A pressure surrounded the thousands of mosquito beasts, and they also witnessed the birth of a new king. Those red mosquito beasts were the first ones to surrender. Their eyes were filled with awe and they let out cries of approval. As for the hundreds of blue mosquito beasts, there were hints of struggle in their eyes, but as the pressure of the mosquito king spread out, they also became submissive. The most difficult were the two white mosquito beasts. The two mosquito beasts stared at Wang Lin's mosquito king. No matter how much Wang Lin's mosquito king sent out its pressure, their gazes were still cold. Wang Lin's mosquito beast revealed a vicious gaze and let out a hiss. The gazes of all the mosquito beasts gathered on the two white mosquitoes and turned into ferocious gazes. The two white mosquito beasts let out miserable cries. The one that battled Wang Lin's mosquito trembled, and its eyes revealed a demonic light. A destructive aura came from its body, and at that instant, its body collapsed. Blood mist spread across the sky, and as it collapsed, the other white mosquito beast also chose to die. It exploded into a mist of blood as well. They'd rather die than obey. These two white mosquito beasts were equal to Nirvana Shatterer cultivators, so their explosions immediately caused a powerful shockwave. The pupils of Song Luhai, who was hiding in the rocks, suddenly shrank. Now is the time. His greed had already drowned his common sense, especially after seeing that the newly born Mosquito King had the origin soul of a cultivator. In his view, this wasn't the origin soul of someone who had left their body, but a cultivator who had lost their body and unexpectedly fused with the Mosquito King using some unknown method. It was a very special existence. This was his first time encountering something like this. In his mind, this Mosquito King was a cultivator. Controlling a Mosquito King was too difficult, but controlling the origin soul of a cultivator that had fused with the Mosquito King shouldn't be too difficult. With that in mind, he could not give up this opportunity, but those hundreds of blue mosquito beasts, thousands of red mosquito beasts, and two white mosquito beasts made it so he wouldn't dare to come out, no matter how greedy he got. However, upon seeing the perfect opportunity created by the collapse of the two white mosquito beasts that blasted away most of the blue and red mosquitoes, his heart came alive. This origin soul isn't strong, only about early stage Nirvana Shatterer. As long as I can control that origin soul within the Mosquito King, I can control the Mosquito King. Song Luhai clenched his teeth and popping sounds echoed inside his body. He suddenly shot out from the rock and moved like a bolt of lightning. He moved through the shockwave of the two collapsed white mosquito beasts and charged at Wang Lin's mosquito beast. His timing was very good. Although his greed had overridden his common sense, he still had thought this through. The moment he flew out, his hands formed a seal and his mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer power spread out like crazy. The illusion of a sun and moon appeared behind him. He started off with his strongest attack. He was from the Silent Soul sect, and they specialized in spells against the soul. They would often not harm the body, but directly target the soul. As his spell spread out, Song Luhai let out a roar. This roar contained a spell that targeted origin souls. Under this roar, origin souls would tremble and become dizzy for a moment. All of his actions and calculations were perfect, but the person he encountered was Wang Lin. Wang Lin had already noticed Song Luhai's presence, but didn't pay any attention to him. Now that the two white mosquito beasts had collapsed and Song Luhai appeared, the star of law Wang Lin was in began to flash. The moment the other party charged out, Wang Lin's mosquito beast immediately retreated. Song Luhai's body charged through the shockwave. Just as he was about to catch up, the star of law began to rotate, and Wang Lin's origin soul took form. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with mockery as he waved his right hand. A gust of wind that turned into a storm suddenly appeared and shot towards Song Luhai. It collided with Song Luhai's spell and caused an earth-shattering rumble. Song Luhai's expression immediately turned pale, and he coughed out blood. His body trembled and he involuntarily stepped back few dozen feet. His face was filled with terror. That wind wasn't powerful, but it contained powerful Tao intent and law. It had disturbed his mind and almost caused his domain to collapse. However, the next scene caused him to lose his wits. He saw Wang Lin's origin soul point at him. At the same time, the Mosquito King immediately let out a hiss. In an instant, all the surrounding mosquito beasts charged in from all directions and sealed all paths of escape. He was trapped inside the mosquito herd. Thousands of red mosquito beasts and hundreds of blue mosquito beasts. This was also Wang Lin's first time seeing them display their power as a group. Thunderous rumbling came from the mosquito herd, along with Song Luhai's frightened roar. I know I've done wrong. Fellow cultivator, have mercy. Fellow cultivator, have mercy. I am an elder of the Silent Soul sect. If fellow cultivator lets me go, I'll definitely repay you in the future. His voice was filled with anxiety and plea. Wang Lin's expression was calm. He sent out a command, causing the Mosquito King to let out a cry, and the Mosquito Herd S attack became even more crazy. At this moment, in the rank region, where the everlasting sect was located, there were 3 cultivation planets. The competition was being held on the 2nd cultivation planet, and it had begun several days ago. The entire everlasting sect was extremely lively during this once every 1,000 years competition. There was a large amount of people densely packed together, and they occupied the entire planet. They had even invited some powerful cultivators of the sect to come and watch the competition, making it even more lively. Some rogue cultivators had also come to watch this grand competition. A huge platform that occupied a portion of the cultivation planet was the location of the competition. Around the platform there were countless steps that went up into the sky. These were seats, and they were filled with cultivators. The origin sect was in a small area in the northern edge. Compared to the other sects, who had hundreds of people, the origin sect only had 10 people and looked very bleak. Lu Yanfei silently sat there. Only a few more days remained until the competition between the rank 4 sects would finish. Then it would be the rank 5 sect's turn. The rest of the origin sect members were all crestfallen as they sat there. Their eyes were filled with loss and sorrow, as if the fate of their origin sect could not be changed. "I am feeling unwell, and will go back first," Lu Yanfei said as she stood up to go back to the house the main sect had provided, even though that place was even more remote and bleak. A frivolous voice came from not far away. "Is that the beauty Lu who is secretly considered the #1 cultivation furnace of the rank region? She is indeed very good. It was worth spending so many origin crystals to make you a member of my celestial music sect after your origin sect is disbanded." Shortly after, a middle-aged man wearing blue walked out with a warm smile. When he appeared, some people recognized him, and their expressions immediately changed, and they quickly left. This made the place the origin sect was located even more desolate and eye-catching. Being stared at made the members of the origin sect turn pale and remain silent. Shu Yun bit her lower lip so hard that it almost bled. This middle-aged man wasn't just by himself, but had 2 white-haired elders following him. Their gazes were like lightning, and anyone who met their gazes would feel their mind tremble. Rank 6 Region S Celestial Music Sect. From this person's appearance, he should be the sect's head disciple Lu Yingji. The Celestial Music Sect has ranked first several times among the rank 6 sects, and has garnered a lot of attention from the main sect. Rumor has it that one of the 3 people being chosen to be sent out for the competition between the rank 8 sects will be from the Celestial Music Sect. In particular, this Lu Yingji cultivates an extremely vicious cultivation method, and often needs a lot of cultivation furnaces. Even if they are powerful, none seem to be able to escape. There are simply too many rumors about this Lu Yingji. I heard that he has some blood relation with Elder Lu of the everlasting sect. Elder Lu is at the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage, so, with Elder Lu behind him, it is no wonder this Lu Yingji dares to be so overbearing. Lu Yanfei's body trembled, and her eyes revealed a cold gaze as she turned to look at the man in blue. This man was rather handsome, and gave off a manly aura. "The origin sect hasn't disbanded and one disband," Lu Yanfei said calmly before turning around to leave. Lu Yingji smiled and softly said, "Fellow cultivator Lu, don't blame me. I only heard about the cultivation furnace from others and am merely teasing. However, I come with good intentions. If the origin sect does disband, Lady Lu will have a good place to go. Forget about the origin sect disbanding. Even if it disbands, my purple Dao sect will accept them all." These cold words came from another direction as a man in purple gradually walked over. He coldly looked at Lu Yingji before looking at Lu Yanfei and politely clasping his hands. "Greetings, fellow cultivator Lu." Lu Yanfei was startled. Fellow cultivator Lu doesn't need to think about it too much. Although brother Lu and I only met once, that night of Dao debate was something I'll never forgot. If he returns, not only will the origin sect not disband, it is even possible it will become the #1 branch sect. Lu Yongkong revealed a look of reminiscence and melancholy. So fellow cultivator Lu also fancies the origin sect and wants to compete with me. I just don't know who this brother Liu you speak of is. Could it be me? Lu Yingji faintly smiled. It was impossible to tell if he was happy or angry. Even his words were as light as the clouds. Lu Yongkong frowned and didn't hold back at all as he roared, "Shut up! Who do you think you are to mention brother Liu? If he was here, he could kill you as easily as squishing an ant." Forgot to mention, at the end of the month, wishing for the like button for the video. Chapter 1240 Li Qianmei. Liu Yingjia's expression was gloomy as he stared at Lu Yongkong. He still remembered that 1,000 years ago. It was this person who became the first rank 5 sect that dared to challenge the number 1 sect of the rank region, the Celestial Music Sect. Although their challenge failed in the end, it was a disgrace to the Celestial Music Sect. This person had stepped on the Celestial Music Sect to make the Purple Dao sect famous and allowed the name Lu Yongkong to spread across the Cloud Sea. Lu Yongkong was even more menacing in this grand competition and had become much more powerful than 1,000 years ago. It was likely that he would challenge the Celestial Music Sect again. If they were challenged by a rank 5 sect twice, the Celestial Music Sect would lose face. If they showed a bit of weakness, even if they won, they would still be secretly ridiculed. Lu Yongkong, everyone can talk. I just want to know how this person named Liu will kill me like an ant. Liu Yingjia's expression gradually calmed down. He was a gloomy person, but he didn't like to show it. It only took a few seconds for him to suppress the anger that had risen up. There was a flash of coldness in Lu Yongkong's eyes. He could naturally see through Liu Yingjia's personality, but the more he saw, the more he disliked him. If he comes, you will find out. Lu Yongkong's voice was cold. Aside from the competition, the biggest reason he had come to the Everlasting Sect was to see Wang Lin again. Therefore, he paid a lot of attention to the Origin Sect. However, just as Lu Yongkong spoke, a strange voice that seemed to come from between someone's teeth surrounded the area. I am also looking forward to this person named Li you speak of, Lu Yongkong. The moment this voice appeared, Lu Yongkong's expression changed. Not only him, but the expressions of everyone in the Origin Sect, including Lu Yanfei, changed. This voice sounded weak, but the moment it appeared, it affected everyone's origin souls and caused them to fluctuate violently. If one's cultivation level wasn't high enough, their face would turn pale and their origin soul would be injured in this confusion. Only Liu Yingji remained normal, but there was a look of surprise in his eyes. He turned around and respectfully clasped his hand. Greetings, Senior Zhao. The space behind Liu Yingji twisted and ripples echoed as a person gradually walked out. This person was a middle-aged man, and his most notable features were his hook-like nose, thin lips, and gloomy eyes. These made him look very vicious. Lu Yongkong's expression changed, and after a long time he said, Greetings, Rank 7 Mountain-Seeking Sect S Senior Zhao. Lu Yongkong's words pointed out this person's identity as a warning to Lu Yanfei and the others. Lu Yanfei's face revealed a moment of bitterness as she and the other Origin Sect cultivators respectfully greeted this person. This person's appearance immediately made the surroundings cold. Some of the onlookers immediately backed up, and some even straight up left. This was originally about the Origin Sect, but it had quickly changed to be a matter between the Purple Dao Sect, the Celestial Music Sect, and the Mountain-Seeking Sect. The focus of their confrontation seemed to be the mysterious person named Liu, that Lu Yongkong had brought up. The middle-aged man named Zhao walked next to Lu Yingji and nodded slightly. Lu Yingji became even more respectful. Since this man has said this person can kill you like squeezing an ant, then you should accept this challenge. I also want to see if this mysterious person named Lu is real or fake, the middle-aged man slowly said, and his voice was as feminine as always. Lu Yingji revealed a smile and nodded. Since that is the case, then I really want to see how powerful this mysterious person named Lu is. However, if this person doesn't show up or isn't as strong as fellow Lu says, then what should we do? Senior Zhao, please give us guidance. The middle-aged man named Zhao looked at Lu Yongkong and gloomily said, If that is the case, then I'll naturally be the witness. This is no small matter. How can such empty words be said? Lu Yongkong's expression remained gloomy and he didn't speak for a long time. Although the Mountain-Seeking Sect wasn't the strongest among the Rank 7 sects, Senior Zhao was an external elder and had a good relationship with the Silent Soul Sect. If he came forward, he could make a lot of noise about this matter. Lu Yanfei bit her lower lip and saw that Lu Yongkong was in an embarrassing situation. A moment later, she softly said, This matter has nothing to do with fellow cultivator Lu. This is a matter of my Origin Sect. Before Lu Yanfei could finish speaking, the middle-aged man named Zhao's eyes turned cold and he stared at Lu Yanfei. This gaze was like a pair of swords that flew out and landed in Lu Yanfei's eyes. Lu Yanfei only felt her body tremble, and a roar echoed in her origin soul. She couldn't help but retreat several dozen feet. Her face turned pale and blood came out from her mouth. Her entire body became weak. A little girl like you isn't qualified to speak here. The surroundings immediately quieted down. The people of the origin sect were all angry, but none of them dared to say a word. They could only swallow this humiliation and let the bitterness fill their bodies. After pondering for a long time, Lu Yongkong looked at Zhao Long and said, "If Brother Lu doesn't come or can kill Lu Yingji like crushing an ant, then I'll naturally give Senior Zhao an explanation." Zhao Long revealed a gloomy smile and let out a harsh laugh as he turned to leave. Beside him, Lu Yingji directed an apologetic gaze at Lu Yanfei, but didn't even look at Lu Yongkong as he turned to leave with Zhao Long. The place they were in was merely a drop in the bucket compared to the platform the competition was held on. At this moment, a ray of white light closed in on the various platforms the competition was being held at. This white light crossed the sky and created a series of thunderous rumbles. Before it got close, it had already attracted the attention of the surrounding cultivators. The aura of a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator spread out from the white light. Several shadows flew out from the everlasting sect to greet it. After the white light closed in, it slowed down. This allowed all the cultivators who looked over to see that it was a woman inside. They also saw the blue hair that belonged only to one person in the Cloud Sea. Li Qianmei. Rank heaven-breaking sect. An uproar suddenly occurred as the nearly 100,000 cultivators here all recognized the identity of the blue-haired woman. It turns out to be the heaven-breaking sect as Li Qianmei. I didn't think the everlasting sect S competition would attract her to attend. Rumors say that she was battling the beast tide at the demon sect. It is unexpected for her to leave and come here. Rumor has it that during the battle against the beast tide, no cultivator involved is allowed to leave. How did Li Qianmei obtain the demon sect's permission to leave? The sounds of discussion spread across the platform with the appearance of Li Qianmei. Not even the battle of the rank 4 sects could attract anyone's attention anymore. Lu Yingji naturally also saw Li Qianmei high up in the sky, and his eyes lit up. He knew Li Qianmei. She once asked him 3 questions. Even Zhao Long beside Lu Yingji became serious as he looked up. He respected Li Qianmei, who came from the rank heaven-breaking sect. Whether it was her cultivation level or sect, they were both things he couldn't compare to. The person in charge of the competition today was an old man named Feng Hai. There were 6 other everlasting sect elders with him. After sensing Li Qianmei, he immediately flew out with the elders, along with a few dozen disciples. After them, the 100 people responsible for the event also flew up. This large group of people greeted Li Qianmei's arrival. "It is our everlasting sect's great honor for fellow cultivator Lu to come. My name is Feng Hai." Feng Hai smiled, and he was very enthusiastic as he clasped his hands. The 6 elders behind him also smiled and clasped their hands in respect. The disciples all revealed respectful expressions. They also looked at Li Qianmei with eyes filled with admiration and awe. Aside from these people, more than 10 rays of light were flying over from the far side of the planet. This was another core group of the everlasting sect, showing how much they valued Li Qianmei. "I believe fellow cultivator Li just came from the beast tide. Please come with me to a place the everlasting sect has prepared for you to rest. I presume the sect master had also learned of your arrival. It is great honor for us that fellow cultivator was willing to come." Feng Hai clasped his hands as his laughter echoed. Although Li Qianmei had become the focus of everyone, she was still calm. She didn't rashly spread out her divine sense to search herself, but looked at everyone before her gaze fell on Feng Hai. She softly said, "Rest isn't urgent. Fellow cultivator Feng, did the rank 5 origin sect come to this competition?" "Origin sect?" Feng Hai was startled. A disciple immediately flew over and spoke into his ear. "This origin sect has indeed come." After Feng Hai heard this, he smiled, but doubts appeared in his heart. Could the small origin sect have some relationship with Li Qianmei? Li Qianmei suppressed her emotions before asking, "Where are they?" Feng Hai's doubt became even stronger, but he didn't show any of it. He looked at the disciple behind him that had spoken to him earlier. He was a youth, and he quickly said in the northern platform on the edge. When his words got to this point, Li Qianmei's divine sense spread out and enveloped entire northern area. She immediately found the people of the origin sect. Compared to the entire platform, that place was truly insignificant. However, the moment Li Qianmei found the origin sect, she flew over like lightning. I forgot to say, the latest 3 chapters are all 4,000-word major chapters. Is Leo that kind? So this is the moon god. Is it the like button for the VIDEO? Do you all also start the VIDEO? Chapter 1241. Did he come? Feng Hai's eyes shrank indiscernibly and he quickly followed. The 6 elders behind him followed with doubt in their hearts. Their movement caused the everlasting sect members behind him to move as well. The movement of over 100 people immediately attracted the attention of the cultivators all over the platform. All sorts of speculations began, and some impatient people simply flew north. With someone taking the lead, even more people followed. At this moment, the competition began to turn chaotic. The 2 people from the rank 4 sects were originally fighting fiercely, but now they bitterly smiled and looked north. Even further away, the dozen or so rays of light rushing over also closed in. The one in front was a red-haired elder who gave off a nirvana shatterer aura, and the dozen or so elders that followed him all had high cultivation levels. After closing in, the red-haired old man immediately saw the chaos caused by the tens of thousands of cultivators and frowned. He shouted, "No flying!" After he spoke those 2 words, they turned into a thunderous rumble that spread out. Some cultivators that had just flown into the air trembled and immediately landed on the ground. His voice spread out as shock waves, immediately suppressing the chaos and causing everyone to calm down. Frowning, the red-haired old man immediately saw Li Qianmei's figure and rushed over with more than a dozen elders behind him. Li Qianmei quickly flew, disregarding how she had alarmed the entire everlasting sect. She flew straight north to where the origin sect was. When she got near, she landed and her gaze swept forward. The joy in Lu Yingji was even stronger. Before, he only saw Li Qianmei from far away and didn't dare to spread out his divine sense. So he hadn't heard Li Qianmei ask about the origin sect. At this moment, he took a deep breath as he put a kind smile on his face. The moment Li Qianmei got close, he said, "Lady Li, it's been 100 years since we last met. I wonder if you still remember me." Zhao Long, who was beside him, also revealed a look of respect and clasped his hands with a smile. "So fellow cultivator Li knows Lu Yingji. I am the rank 7 mountain-seeking sect as Zhao Long." After the 2 of them spoke, the surrounding people were all shocked. It was obvious that no one thought the reason for the daughter of the heavens to rush over would be Lu Yingji. Lu Yingji is rumored to be very romantic. I didn't think that even Li Qianmei would be acquainted with him, or would even come to the everlasting sect due to him. If this matter is true, the celestial music sect will become famous before even competing. I didn't expect this. I wonder what about this Lu Yingji allowed him to gain Li Qianmei's favor. I just don't understand. Even the everlasting sect people who had followed Li Qianmei here looked at Lu Yingji, but Feng Hai and company frowned. They had clearly heard Li Qianmei ask about the origin sect, but now with Lu Yingji appearing, their doubts became even stronger. Lu Yingji smiled even wider as all the attention was on him. He walked forward a few steps and was about to catch up with Li Qianmei, who had just landed. After Li Qianmei heard Lu Yingji speak, her gaze locked onto him, and she frowned. As Lu Yingji walked up, she indifferently walked past him. She had battled against the beast tied in the crack for almost 100 years and had just come from the battleground without any rest. Her body was naturally filled with killing intent, and one gaze caused Lu Yingji's heart to feel a chill. His face immediately stiffened but soon returned to normal, and he clasped his hands, smiling. It has been 100 years, but Lady Li is still so valiant and formidable. However, before Lu Yingji could finish speaking, Li Qianmei walked past him without stopping. This caused Lu Yingji to stiffen and swallow his words. Not only him, but even Zhao Long, who was originally smiling, froze. This sudden scene caused the surrounding cultivators to raise their eyebrows. This surprise completely reversed the situation. There was even a hint of mockery in the eyes of the surrounding cultivators. Li Qianmei didn't even look at Lu Yingji and headed straight for the origin sect. When she got closer, her gaze swept by everyone and landed on Lu Yanfei. Lu Yanfei wiped the blood off the corner of her mouth as if erasing the bitterness on her body and looked at Li Qianmei. Li Qianmei silently pondered and bit her lower lip. After a long time, she softly said, "Did he come?" These words clearly entered the ears of the surrounding cultivators and immediately caused an uproar. Everyone was guessing who this he was. Even the people of the everlasting sect were wondering the same thing. Feng Hai's eyes lit up and an answer to his doubts gradually formed. At this moment, the red-haired elder with more than 10 other elders arrived and saw this. There was a hint of shock in his eyes as he looked at Feng Hai, and they both had their own thoughts. Liu Yingji also heard these words. Even with his mental strength, his expression changed. After experiencing what he just had, it was extremely difficult to remain calm. His expression was extremely ugly, but he also had vague feeling that something bad was going to happen. The expression of Zhao Long beside him changed greatly. He was different from Liu Yingji and immediately looked at Lu Yongkong. After Lu Yongkong felt his gaze, he sneered and revealed an unhidden trace of disdain. Zhao Long suddenly felt his heart skip a beat. He felt that the mysterious Persian Lu Yongkong had spoken of wasn't as simple as he had thought. Lu Yanfei silently pondered, and after a while she shook her head. Although she hadn't met Li Qianmei, she could clearly understand who the he Li Qianmei was talking about was. He didn't come. Li Qianmei let out a sigh as she raised her head and looked up at the sky with a hint of melancholy. Her blue hair gently blew with the wind, containing a crestfallen feeling. "There hasn't been any news of him in 100 years, Lu Yanfei said, as she looked at Li Qianmei. She hesitated for a moment but didn't continue speaking. Li Qianmei bit her lower lip as she shook her head and softly said, "Forget it." With that, there was a flash of coldness as she looked at Lu Yanfei and gently said, "You re-injured? The injury is fresh. Who did it?" Lu Yanfei's expression was calm as she indifferently said, "Earlier, this Liu Yingji said that after the origin sect disbands, I'll become his cultivation furnace, and he threatened to fight Uncle Teacher. Next to him is the rank 7 mountain-seeking sect's elder, Zhao Long. He thought that this little woman's voice was unpleasant and that I wasn't qualified to talk, so he punished me." After Liu Yingji heard this, his expression changed. He looked at Lu Yanfei before shouting, "She's full of nonsense." In fact, what he said was true. He didn't say he wanted Lu Yanfei to become his cultivation furnace, but he did intend to make her one. Zhao Long's expression changed and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. Li Qianmei's expression calmed down as she turned around to look at Zhao Long and Liu Yingji. Liu Yingji was about to speak, but Zhao Long quickly retreated. His hands formed seal and a spell began to appear. However, just as Zhao Long retreated, Li Qianmei suddenly moved. She was very fast and created afterimages as she rushed forward. She crossed the crowd in just a moment with her late-stage nirvana shatterer cultivation and appeared behind Zhao Long before gently waving her hand. A monstrous killing aura suddenly appeared. This killing intent was shocking and contained thunderous roars. It gave off a demonic feel, and it immediately enveloped Zhao Long's body. A miserable scream echoed as Zhao Long coughed out blood and was immediately thrown into the air. His left arm collapsed into a pile of flesh and blood. At the same time, his right arm and both legs exploded as well. Following that, his body exploded. The smell of blood spread out as Zhao Long's origin soul escaped with panic and fear in his eyes. Li Qianmei calmly looked at everlasting sect's Feng Hai and the red-haired elder and softly said, "If you two mind, I'll give the everlasting sect an explanation." After she finished, she looked at Liu Yingji and said, "Since you want to fight him, I'll leave you with your life. If he doesn't come, then I'll take yours and that person named Zhao lives." That sharp blow and simple words created a powerful impact. It made everyone who saw this gasp and shock filled their eyes. The people of the everlasting sect were also silent. Feng Hai looked at the red-haired elder before he coughed and said, "Fellow cultivator Li, who is this person you speak of, I wonder? The origin sect's Lu Yanfei's uncle teacher?" Li Qianmei nodded. Then she let out a sigh and looked at the sky. No one knew what she was thinking. Lu Yanfei no longer hesitated and softly said, "Uncle teacher said 100 years ago that he would come." At this moment, the he that everyone was speculating about was moving across the celestial realm with nearly 5,000 red mosquito beasts and hundreds of blue mosquito beasts. It was like a red cloud that covered the sky, and it swept across the outer edge of the wind celestial realm. The wind wailed across the empty wind celestial realm. However, this wind was nothing compared to the buzzing of the mosquito beasts. In the center of the mosquito herd, there was a golden mosquito king that was letting out thunderous roars. Every roar would cause the surrounding mosquitoes to tremble in awe and rapidly fly forward. Wang Lin was sitting on top of the mosquito king with flowing white hair as he looked at the inner part of the celestial realm. His eyes lit up. His injuries had recovered a bit over the past several days, but, more importantly, the large amount of mosquito beasts he gathered had increased his strength greatly. I want to enter the inner part of the wind celestial realm. Then I'll get enough mosquito beasts and then go fulfill my promise with the origin sect. The golden mosquito king under Wang Lin let out a cry. The red cloud formed by thousands of mosquito beasts immediately changed directions and charged toward where most of the mosquito beasts were, gathered in the wind celestial realm. It's been a long time since wishing for likes on the VIDEO. The little pig wishing for the like button for the VIDEO support. Chapter 1242. After Sundered Night. Hiding inside the aura of the countless mosquito beasts made it almost impossible to find Wang Lin. But the deeper in the wind celestial realm he went, the more cautious he became. The speed of the mosquito herd slowed down a lot as they flew deep into the wind celestial realm. As they moved forward, Wang Lin clearly felt the wind in the wind celestial realm become even more intense. The wind was like the mournful cries of countless souls. It was earth-shattering, and at the same time the wind formed vortexes that traveled across the wind celestial realm. The mosquito beasts seemed to be very fond of the wind, especially the vortexes. Wang Lin had seen many vortexes, with hundreds of mosquito beasts inside being pushed into the distance. The thunderous rumbles echoed across the world, and sometimes it was not clear if the wind was moving the mosquitoes or if the mosquitoes were forming the wind. As he moved forward, the collapsed land of the wind celestial realm gradually appeared before Wang Lin's eyes. The pieces of collapsed land were like a broken mirror. The pieces were separated by cracks, and some cracks were so wide that they extended into the void. There were countless ruins and debris on these lands, along with many collapsed buildings. Every time the wind passed, it seemed to take some of it away, and those buildings had gradually disappeared due to the wind over the years. Looking at everything before him, Wang Lin couldn't help but feel desolate. In his near 2,000 years of cultivation, he had gone to the rain celestial realm, the thunder celestial realm, and now he was at the wind celestial realm. His experiences had been very exciting. Not many people could compare to what he had experienced. The rain celestial realm gave Wang Lin the feeling that it was seriously damaged, and it was very difficult to find any trace of the celestial realm of the past. All that remained was the sorrow of being raided time and time again by cultivators. The thunder celestial realm was different compared to the rain celestial realm as it wasn't as damaged. Although it was also collapsed, he could still feel the power and might of the thunder celestial realm of the past. However, whether it was the rain celestial realm or the thunder celestial realm, they couldn't compare to the wind celestial realm at all. Due to the mosquito beasts, cultivators rarely came here after the collapse, causing the realm to be kept extremely intact. Only the wind echoed all by itself across the wind celestial realm. The entire wind celestial realm gave Wang Lin the feeling of endless desolation and loneliness, as if this place had been forgotten for countless years. Only the wailing wind accompanied this place. Wang Lin saw the largest piece of land in the wind celestial realm floating before him. It gave off an ancient aura as if it had experienced countless years of life. There was a giant stone gate at the center of the large continent. This stone gate was hundreds of thousands of feet tall. Even from far away you could easily see it at a glance. The mosquito herd Wang Lin was in stopped. Sitting on the mosquito king, Wang Lin stared at the giant stone gate in the distance, and his mind trembled as if he had lost himself. He lost all his senses. Even the wailing wind seemed to disappear, and he even forgot that he was sitting on the back of the mosquito king. The only thing left in his eyes was the indescribable stone gate. A feeling of time gradually filled Wang Lin's mind. At this moment, he was immersed in time. He gradually lost himself as he watched the transformation of the world, watched the ages pass by, watched the constantly changing landscape. It wasn't appropriate to call it a stone gate, because it was only a giant frame. It was like someone had put a short column between these two massive pillars to form a door shape. It simply towered over the land and remained unmoving before the wind. Looking at the stone gate, Wang Lin seemed to return to his body after a long time. He took a deep breath and gradually returned to normal, but his gaze was still locked onto the giant stone gate in the distance. He wasn't too unfamiliar with this stone gate. He had seen it several times in his life. This stone gate was the gate formed by the heaven-defying bead when it activated. They looked exactly the same, without any difference. If there really was a difference, it would be that the gate from the heaven-defying bead was an actual gate and not just a frame. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin looked around. This was already the inner part of the Wind Celestial Realm. Going further would mean entering the center of the Wind Celestial Realm. Wang Lin somewhat didn't want to leave as he looked at the giant door. He jumped off the Mosquito King's back, stepped on the wind, and walked on the world as he moved forward step by step. The Mosquito King followed behind, and around it were nearly 5,000 mosquito beasts forming a red cloud that covered the sky. It was as if Wang Lin felt an inexplicable attraction to this giant door. He slowly stepped on the air and closed in on the gate. The majestic aura of the gate became even stronger. If you stood before the gate and looked up, you wouldn't even see the top. A powerful, desolate feeling enveloped the area as if there was an invisible vortex with the giant gate as the center, slowly rotating. Due to this vortex, it made it feel like there was a layer of fog around the gate. It was difficult to detect from afar, but when up close, the fog was easy to feel. Wang Lin stood on the ground and raised his head to look at the giant gate. His mind trembled as he subconsciously spread out his divine sense toward the gate. The moment his divine sense spread over, a thunderous rumble echoed in his mind as if thunder had exploded in his ears. This created a powerful impact that pushed away all the fog and allowed the giant gate to appear clearly before Wang Lin's eyes. What he saw was no longer a gate, but a creature. This creature had a soul. It seemed as if it had existed for too long and gradually gained sentience. When Wang Lin's divine sense spread over, he seemed to fuse with that creature, and at that instant, Wang Lin seemed to forget his own existence. Time slowly passed. Wang Lin stood there motionlessly. He was in a very strange state. This state was very familiar to when he comprehended his first original spell, Shunned Night, on the seaside cliff. There was an old saying, cultivators walk through the heavens and adapt the heavens as their own heart. Only then can they hold both heaven and earth and understand what Tao is. Although this sounds complicated, it has its own reason. It was like a painter who would never see the highest peak, the vast ocean, or the different states of life. How could he draw celestial-like mountains, dragon-like seas, or the relationship of humans? Only after seeing firsthand and experiencing firsthand could one draw mountains and seas with spirit to create masterpieces that would be passed down throughout the ages. Cultivation had the same logic, which was why all the disciples of big sects would go out to comprehend the heavens once their cultivation level reached a certain point. However, painters were still people, and some people would not be moved by the heavens or earth. They never gained any comprehension and could only leave behind footprints that would gradually disappear with time. There were also people who gained comprehension from seeing the heavens and earth, the mountains and seas, and even from the fishermen casting their nets. Although their footprints would also be washed away, the comprehension they gained would remain in their hearts and be taken with them. Cultivation was like this, and some cultivators felt no comprehension. No matter how much they saw, it was all in vain. Some cultivators had merged the heavens with their hearts and became their own comprehension. At this moment, Wang Lin captured the stone gate inside his heart. This was one of the three great realms, the Shi realm. Shi was the source of all creation. Back then, when Wang Lin gained enlightenment on the seaside cliff, he was watching the sky, the earth, and the sea. He captured all those in his heart and took them with him to create his first original spell, Shunned Night. Today, in the Wind Celestial Realm, under this giant gate, Wang Lin had this feeling again. He was immersed in this strange realm, and was about to unconsciously capture this stone gate in his heart and take it away. He didn't want to use it to create a second spell after Shunned Night. Just like how back on the seaside cliff, he didn't think about creating Shunned Night and displaying it to the world. His body stood there, and his aura slowly merged with the gate until he completely disappeared within. At this moment, if a cultivator came and spread out their divine sense, they wouldn't be able to notice Wang Lin at all. Even if they were standing beside Wang Lin, if they just tried to detect someone without looking, they wouldn't be aware of Wang Lin at all. Wang Lin's aura and all his vitality disappeared without a trace. The Mosquito King was still floating in the air, but the moment Wang Lin's aura disappeared, its eyes became filled with confusion. It looked down at Wang Lin and felt even more confused. It could clearly see its master, but his master's aura had completely disappeared. Even their faint connection was severed. The Mosquito King let out a roar and rushed to Wang Lin. It seemed like only by doing this could it remain calm. As it roared, the surrounding mosquito beasts immediately surrounded the area. The moment Wang Lin's aura disappeared, deep within the Wind Celestial Realm, there was a small continent. The sky was dim and buzzing sounds echoed endlessly. The entire world was filled with countless mosquito beasts. These mosquito beasts roared. They were densely packed, but it was impossible to see the end of this herd. On that continent stood a human-shaped stone statue. Suddenly, the petrification around its eyes began to reverse. The stone rapidly melted around the eyes, and the eyes slowly opened. There are 9 laws inside that stone gate, ordered from strong to weak. Which one can he comprehend? The year of the dragon is approaching. Leo's year is coming fast, fervently shouting for the like button for the VIDEO, wishing to be drowned in happiness by the likes for the VIDEO. Chapter 1243, The Ninth Law. The sky was blue with a faint light that scattered across the earth. The world was filled with celestial spiritual energy and beautiful celestial beasts flying across the sky. The entire world was peaceful as countless celestials flew across the sky, chattering amongst each other. They laughed and pointed as if they were talking about something. The entire earth was filled with mountain peaks, with rivers flowing across the land. Celestial spiritual energy spread across the land, and from afar, you could see a celestial fog surround the area, making this place look beautiful. On the ground, countless celestials were sitting there, seeming to form a formation. This formation seemed to spread out for tens of thousands of kilometers, and there were countless celestials. Passing the will of the ancient celestial realm to fix the celestial gate and welcoming the true ancient celestials. A commanding voice echoed across the sky and spread across the entire celestial realm. When this voice finished speaking, the celestials within the formation formed seals with their hands and sent celestial spiritual energy into the formation. This caused the earth to rumble. Everything began to twist, and a mighty ripple began to slowly spread. As the ripple spread, dense celestial spiritual energy came from the mountain and rivers. All the celestial spiritual energy entered the ripple and made it spread even further. Take the eastern mountain to form the left side of the celestial door. The voice echoed once more, as the countless celestials chanted at the same time. A heaven-piercing mountain to the east suddenly collapsed. The mountain floated into the air and flew over as it crumbled. As it moved forward, it continued to collapse and then became a square pillar before landing on the earth. The earth trembled and the voice echoed once more. Take the western mountain to form the right side of the celestial door. A towering mountain in the west also moved. It turned into a square pillar and landed on the ground. Take the southern mountain range to form the top of the celestial door. In the southern part of the celestial realm there was a dragon-like mountain range. The moment the voice echoed, this endless mountain range trembled. It was as if the dragon's head had risen into the air as the mountain range flew over. The mountain range gradually collapsed as it closed in, then it landed on top of the 2 pillars. The voice suddenly echoed once more. Take the land of the north to make the celestial door. The celestial realm of the north trembled violently and cracks appeared. As the earth trembled, a rectangular piece of earth was separated. This rectangular piece of earth gradually flew over and continued to shrink before it became a huge door inside the 3 pillars. Sacrifice to the celestials. The moment the door was complete, almost all the celestials let out earth-shattering roars. At the same time, the ripple that had gathered large amounts of celestial spiritual energy rushed toward the door. A thunderous rumble echoed. As the ripple shrank, a large amount of celestial spiritual energy entered the door. It made this door feel like a celestial door. The ancient celestial realm has ordered that when the celestial door opens, the celestial domain will descend. The scene changed once more. It seemed as if a long time had passed. The celestial realm was still the celestial realm, but it no longer had the charm it did before. A taste of blood spread across the celestial realm as bloody screams echoed. The earth trembled and continued to crack. The sky became muddy as if ink had been poured into water and made it darken. In the distance, about a dozen celestials were flying over, but the 3 at the rear suddenly trembled. Their bodies exploded into a rain of flesh and blood that fell to the earth. The miserable screams continued to echo. Those dozen celestials struggled to make their way to the door and knelt on the ground. One of them roared at the door, his voice mournful and filled with sadness. The celestial gate has been up for 40,000 years. Why hasn't T, the true celestial from the ancient celestial realm, come? The giant stone door looked the same as it did when it was built, without any change. The door formed by the land was still closed, without a single gap, much less an opening. Just as the roar echoed, some of the celestials kneeling on the ground trembled, their eyes filled with fear. The next moment, their bodies exploded, and the blood splattered onto the remaining people. It was a shocking sight. Back then, the ancient celestial realm left a message stating that the wind celestial realm would face a great calamity. In order to resist the calamity, we built this celestial door. Now that the calamity has arrived, why isn't T, the ancient celestial, saving us? Hundreds of celestials appeared over the horizon. Many of them died before they arrived and knelt on the ground. More and more celestials came. They all looked at the door and let out their unwilling cries. If the ancient celestial one T save us, then we will save ourselves. Even if I die, I will die in the celestial realm. A celestial suddenly stood up and rushed into the sky with madness. However, what awaited him was a thunderous explosion. His flesh and blood scattered on the ground, and some even fell on the door. However, compared to the door, the blood splatter was simply too tiny. Even more blood fell on the celestials on the ground. They all raised their heads and revealed madness in their eyes as they charged at the sky. Even if I die, I'll die in the celestial realm. As the celestials continued to fly into the air, the thunderous rumbles echoed. The celestials exploded one by one. They had no chance to resist this mysterious force at all. Even more blood fell on the stone gate. The blood splatter spots gave off a tragic atmosphere. Just at this moment, the darkness in the sky began to move. The darkness above the celestial realm gathered in an instant. A giant black finger appeared from the sky and struck down at the stone gate with heaven-shaking might. This finger was extremely large, and every single cultivator that touched it died. Soon, the finger gathered all the darkness in the sky, and the tip of the finger collided with the door that was fashioned from a continent. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A thunderous rumble suppressed all sounds in the world. Under the might of the finger, large amounts of cracks appeared on the door. Then it suddenly collapsed. It shattered into pieces. At this moment, the earth trembled, and like the door, the land began to crack. At the edge of the celestial realm, more than 10 pieces of land were torn off. Under the constant collapse, the celestial realm collapsed. The earth trembled, and was divided into countless fragments. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, the celestial realm was in ruins, but the collapse didn't stop, instead becoming even more intense. A destructive aura spread out and crushed all living beings. After a long time, the earth stopped trembling. The collapsing celestial realm was silent. Not a sound came from it. The darkness in the sky gradually disappeared until no trace of it remained. The giant doorway had lost the door, and only the frame remained. It stood there, motionless. The scene changed again. An unknown amount of time had passed, and a huge rift appeared deep within the celestial realm. This rift was about 100,000 feet wide, and gave off a ghostly light. One could vaguely see that it was a star system on the other side. There was a purple planet there, which was filled with countless fierce beasts. The most eye-catching part of them was their large mouths. They rushed into the crack and appeared in the wind celestial realm. Wang Lin awakened due to shock and looked at the giant stone gate. At that moment, he had fused with the stone gate and seen its memories. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he flew into the sky, riding the wind until he arrived at the top of the stone gate and sat down. From this position, he could see the celestial realm from a bird's eye view, and the wind here was even more fierce. The wind stung his body like knives and caused his hair to flow violently. His clothes flapped and popped under the assault of the wind. Taking a deep breath, Wang Lin closed his eyes and immersed himself in that strange state while feeling the might of the door. This time he fused with the door, and a vague door gradually appeared in his mind. He was going to capture the door in his heart so he could take it with him. However, the door that appeared in his heart wasn't clear. It was fuzzy and couldn't fully take shape. Wang Lin slowly felt 8 strange forces around the door. It was these 8 forces that made him unable to clearly imprint the door. This stone gate was different from when Wang Lin was comprehending at the seaside cliff. There was only one law back then, so he didn't have to choose. he could just take it with him. However, right now it was different. Wang Lin felt that these 8 strange forces were 8 different laws. If he wanted to take them all, the stone gate would not take form unless he could stay here for countless years. Then, if he didn't, he'd die and could reach the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage, he might have a chance. It was obvious Wang Lin wouldn't choose this path. His mind began to observe the 8 laws when he noticed something, and his body trembled lightly. Aside from these 8 laws, there is another one. Wang Lin's eyes suddenly opened and stared at the giant stone door below him. There was a passage of time on this stone gate. This was a natural aura that would surface when someone had been around long enough. There was nothing special about it. This aura would be even stronger on some ancient cultivation planets. However, for some unknown reason, the mark of time on this stone gate had gone through a change. It was like the evolution of a cultivator's domain. It had evolved from time to eternality. Time and eternality had the same origin, but were on 2 completely different levels. 6,000 words in a major chapter, wishing for sharing, for likes on the video. You are listening to a completely free audiobook on the Leo Audio YouTube channel. If you enjoy the story, please like the video to motivate the channel. Support Leo with a cup of coffee through the description link or on the screen. If you want to hear any other stories, just comment and let Leo know. Thank you very much for watching the video. Chapter 1244. Flowing Time. Time slowly passed, and 3 days went by in the blink of an eye. Wang Lin sat on the giant stone gate in that mysterious state similar to Dao seeking as he pursued the 9th law. The mosquito beasts scattered and surrounded the area, but didn't disperse. They were wary of the surroundings. The Mosquito King was simply lying down beside Wang Lin on the stone gate, and its cold gaze slowly swept the area. Whenever its gaze fell on a mosquito, that mosquito would reveal an extremely respectful demeanor. Only when the Mosquito King's gaze fell on Wang Lin would it change. The indifference would change to a kind of attachment, like how a child felt about their parents. In truth, in the Mosquito King's heart, Wang Lin was its parent. There were 4 mosquito beasts that were deep blue. They flew beside the Mosquito King as if they were guards. An aura matching that of peak Nirvana Cleanser cultivators spread out from them. With the Mosquito King leading a group of 5,000 mosquito beasts, a powerful force was forming. The mosquito beasts had gradually accepted Wang Lin's existence, but this was only an acceptance. The moment the Mosquito King was gone, it would immediately collapse. As the roars echoed, Wang Lin still sat there and felt the laws on the stone gate. There were 8 laws on the stone gate, but the marks left by time had turned into the 9th law. Compared to the first 8, the 9th was the strongest. Wang Lin didn't have time to comprehend them all and could only give up the first 8 to choose the 9th. The loneliness within this ancient stone gate, combined with the strange wind, resonated with Wang Lin's heart. As he sat on top of the stone gate, he seemed to become the stone gate. He watched the world age, watched ages pass, watched the sky transform over tens of thousands of years, and watched the mountains rise and fall. His heart also seemed to become ancient. His almost 2,000 years of cultivation were really insignificant compared to this stone gate. However, as his mind merged with the stone gate, he slowly found the feeling of the passage of time in his heart. Just like how when painters see mountains, seas, and life, a vague framework would first appear in their heart. This was like the fuzzy existence in Wang Lin's heart. Wang Lin was sitting on top of the stone gate, but he didn't look down at it. Instead, he opened his eyes and looked straight ahead. This gaze was as calm as the surface of a well. Although his gaze was calm, there was a trace of reminiscence within it that unconsciously turned into a ripple that brought back Wang Lin's buried memories. At that instant, he saw a cultivation planet. On there, a father was walking with his child through the mountains and rivers. They were talking and laughing as they pointed at various mountains and rivers. The father took the child, and they continued to conquer mountain after mountain and cross rivers and lakes. He also took the child and roared next to the ocean, making it look like their roar was causing the giant waves in the ocean. All these memories containing the passage of time flowed before Wang Lin's eyes. These were memories filled with pain and happiness. They were part of his life. These were indispensable memories. At this moment, as Wang Lin sat on the stone gate, he watched the world while recalling these memories. He slowly put everything inside his heart. Seeking Tao in truth, it is bringing the Tao into your heart. This is Tao seeking. The so-called comprehension and domain are the same. You keep a comprehension in your heart and slowly experience it until it merges with your Tao. Eventually, it will become a domain, an ideal. Wang Lin seemed to be talking to himself, and his eyes closed as he continued to murmur. Although his eyes were closed, he could still see the world, and the magnificent door was standing in his heart. The only difference was that he wasn't the only person sitting on the stone gate. Beside him was a figure of a child that could never grow up. Perhaps, in Wang Lin's heart, Wang Ping would always be just a child. Wang Ping wasn't real, but an illusion formed by Wang Lin's memories. He sat beside Wang Lin and silently accompanied his father just like he did during his childhood. He watched the sun rise and set with his father and watched the world change with his father. He accompanied his father's loneliness. If all of this could become eternal, perhaps there wouldn't be so many regrets and choices in life. In Wang Lin's heart, he and Wang Ping were still sitting on that giant stone gate. Originally, it was a vague void below them, but now it gradually changed as the sound of waves echoed. A boundless sea appeared under the stone gate. From afar, it looked like the stone gate had broken out from the sea and pierced into the sky. No matter how much the sea raged, it remained towering. The sound of the waves became the only sound in the world. Even further away, the sun began to rise, emitting an orange glow that shined on the father and son, causing their shadows to elongate. The sundered night born from the seal. Time flows like memories. It isn't that there is no eternity, but that moment of eternity will intoxicate you. It will make your heart shatter. It will make you unwilling to awaken so you can continue pursuing it with a smile forever, until you disappear into eternity in a dream. Ping your father's second spell will be called flowing time. Is that good? Flowing time. Time flowed like memories. Because it was still flowing, time was eternal. However, if a force could cause that eternity to collapse, it would be a terrifying force. Wang Lin's comprehension continued. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye 7 days went by. He had been sitting on the stone gate for a full 10 days. The mosquito beasts still surrounded the area. From afar, it looked like a red cloud that was slowly churning. The wind blew by, but it couldn't take away the ancient aura from the stone gate or the red cloud formed by the mosquito beasts. During these 10 days of time, the Mosquito King lied there, awaiting Wang Lin's awakening. At the twilight of the 10th day, more than 10 rays of light flew across the horizon. The people in the rays of light were all elites of the rank 8 sects that weren't participating in the competition. Li Yuanlei was one of them. When they were waiting outside the Wind Celestial Realm for friends, they unexpectedly encountered Wang Lin. They also saw the scene of the mosquito beasts welcoming Wang Lin, and were deeply shocked by it. Then their friends arrived, and after debating for a bit, they waited for a few days before entering the Wind Celestial Realm. However, along the way, although they were careful strangely, they didn't encounter any mosquito beasts. While shocked, this made them even more cautious. As they continued forward, they still saw no mosquito beasts. If it wasn't for the fact that they knew they were in the Wind Celestial Realm, they would begin to doubt if mosquito beasts were ever even here. There were many ruins that they originally couldn't enter due to the presence of the mosquitoes, and they could only move around the outer region. This was the first time in countless years they had come this deep into the Wind Celestial Realm. The deeper they went, the slower they moved, becoming even more nervous as they carefully observed their surroundings. However, their harvest was very good, far more than before. On this day, they were flying when Li Yuanlei's body trembled. At the same time, the pupils of everyone around him shrank, and they all stopped. They didn't dare to spread out their divine senses here, but there was no need to spread out their divine senses. The red cloud that seemed to cover the sky and the buzzing sounds were enough to make their scalps go numb. The mosquito beasts that seemed to have gone missing in the 10 days they were here appeared before their eyes. However, what was strange was that in the past, if a mosquito beast appeared, they would immediately roar and give chase. However, these mosquito beasts didn't even look at them, and instead continued to hover around the stone gate. This strange scene caused them to stop retreating. They were all vigilant and were prepared to escape if anything went wrong. Those mosquitoes surrounding one of them gasped as they saw a flash of the stone door being surrounded by the red cloud. A youth in black softly said, "The elders of our sect that have come this far here must have seen this stone gate." Looking at its appearance, This stone gate must have been an important altar to the celestial realm before its collapse. There is someone on the stone gate. Li Yuanlei had the highest cultivation level, and he vaguely saw a figure sitting on the stone gate through the thousands of mosquitoes. After he spoke, it caused everyone's minds to tremble, and they all looked over with looks of disbelief. They all focused, and one by one they faintly saw Wang Lin sitting on the stone gate. There really is someone sitting there. Who is that person who can calmly cultivate while being surrounded by mosquito beasts? What's even more bizarre is that the mosquito beasts are not attacking this person. They seem to be guarding this person instead. This is impossible. It is impossible to domesticate mosquito beasts. Every time they meet as cultivators, we get into a life and death battle. How could they guard someone? At this moment, both their hearts and minds were in shock. Their eyes revealed horror and disbelief at what they saw. Li Yuanlei suppressed the shock in his heart and whispered, "Dante, forget about the cultivator in white we saw outside the wind celestial realm. If you look closely, although you can clearly see the person there, you can see that his clothes are white. There is someone who can control a mosquito beast." This matter the surrounding cultivators all became silent. Those that came late didn't see Wang Lin and only heard about him from the others. They originally didn't believe it, but at this moment, they had no choice but to believe. The shock in their hearts was several times stronger than that of the others. Nearly 3,800 words, already quite long. Day by day people say it's short, look at others. All are 2,000 words a chapter. Leo is that long, wouldn't you cast a like for Leo's video? Chapter 124, Law of the World. The wandering soul struggled as it charged toward the transfer array. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he watched the wandering soul. The dozens of people inside the transfer array saw the wandering soul flying at them and immediately backed up. They all took out their magic treasures and nervously observed the wandering soul's every movement. As the wandering soul came closer, the people inside became even more nervous. The wandering soul hit the light screen protection barrier on the transfer array. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but he secretly sighed. The moment the wandering soul touched the barrier, it turned into smoke. The people inside the formation began to cheer. They felt even more confident now that this transfer array could protect them. Newly born soul devourer, it is no use. That transfer array is the gate to the world of the living. Any soul life form that touches it will be immediately destroyed by the law of the world. A voice entered Wang Lin's mind. He stared at the transfer array with an unchanged expression and began to ponder. After a long time, his eyes lit up. He pointed at the air multiple times, and more than 10 wandering souls flew toward him, struggling. Wang Lin sneered. He pointed at the transfer array, and the wandering souls all charged toward it. The difference in rank made it so they couldn't resist at all. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he noticed something about the barrier. When the wandering souls got close, a black line appeared. That black line entering the wandering souls was what was killing them. As for how the black line appeared, it was too far for Wang Lin to see. His face was filled with doubts. Without a word, he spread out his divine sense, caught more than 1,000 wandering souls, and sent them toward the transfer array. These wandering souls quickly charged toward the transfer array. Screams came from the people inside the transfer array. Those cultivators' faces all turned pale. When there was only 1 or 2 wandering souls, they were kind of scared. When there were more than 10, they panicked due to fear. But with more than 1,000 wandering souls, fear just couldn't describe it anymore. It was more correct to say that they were terrified. Some of them even closed their eyes in despair, but most of them set their last hopes on the barrier. However, they also prepared to commit suicide if the barrier failed, because they'd rather die than be devoured. This point had become a general consensus among the cultivators. The moment the 1,000+ wandering souls touched the barrier, they let out screams and disappeared. It felt as though they were all just blown away by wind and disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin suddenly stood up. He clearly saw what had just happened. Those black lines would appear out of thin air and attack the wandering souls. No matter what angle the wandering souls attacked from, the black lines would appear and destroy them. This black line was clearly related to the law of the world his neighbors were talking about. Wang Lin's gaze became cold as he sent out another wave of divine sense and gathered more than 2,000 wandering souls. These wandering souls were forced into a suicidal attack by him. At the moment, The cultivators inside the transfer array had finally relaxed for a bit from the scare, but they instantly began to panic again. It was not because they didn't trust this barrier, but because of the fear that they developed for the wandering souls on the way here. This was like being surrounded by a pack of hungry wolves. Even though you were surrounded by fire, you would still be scared. The 2000's wandering souls charged when Wang Lin pointed his finger. The wandering soul that underwent a change that had been following behind him revealed a pleading look, not daring to move forward. Wang Lin stared at that wandering soul. Although wandering souls possessed some intelligence, this was the first one he had seen that would plead. Wang Lin stared at the wandering soul and his eyes became cold. The wandering soul let out a cry. It wasn't able to withstand the pressure of Wang Lin's divine sense, so it charged forward. The moment it charged out, it was clearly different from the other wandering souls. The other wandering souls all got out of its way. Although not as much compared to Wang Lin, the other wandering souls clearly feared this one. The moment the 2000+ wandering souls slammed against the barrier, black lines appeared and destroyed them all. Just at that moment, the mutated wandering soul arrived. Wang Lin's pupils suddenly shrank as he revealed a joyous expression. Half of the mutated wandering soul's body had entered the barrier, even though a black line had entered its body. The mutated wandering soul revealed a painful expression, but it still charged through the barrier and jumped onto a cultivator. The cultivator quickly let out a miserable scream and turned into a mummy. At that moment, more than 10 black lines appeared and entered the mummified body. The mutated wandering soul quickly charged out of the body with a painful expression, but it didn't get far before being destroyed. The expressions of the cultivators inside the transfer arrays suddenly changed as they looked at the mummified body. Some of the female cultivators started crying. Xianxia secretly sighed. He went up and kicked the mummified body out of the transfer array. Wang Lin's eyebrows locked together. He carefully pulled out a sliver of his divine sense and sent it toward the transfer array. When it got close, a black line drilled into his divine sense as fast as lightning. Wang Lin's divine sense quickly backed away and dodged the black line. The black line suddenly changed directions and charged toward Wang Lin's divine sense. Wang Lin clenched his teeth. His divine sense no longer dodged, but went up to meet the black line. He wanted to see just how strong these black lines were. If it was before, he wouldn't dare to try, but since the mutated wandering soul was able to withstand a hit, then it shouldn't be too dangerous. The black line quickly entered Wang Lin's divine sense. Suddenly, a destructive force exploded forth within the divine sense and charged toward Wang Lin's main body. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. His powerful divine sense went forth and quickly surrounded the destructive force. Then he began to carefully study this destructive force. After a long time, Wang Lin secretly sighed. His divine sense moved and crushed that destructive power. Although he wasn't able to completely see through this destructive force, he knew that this black line would greatly damage his soul. It was as if it was made to damage souls. Wang Lin knew that if the black lines exceeded a certain number, even he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Wang Lin closed his eyes. After pondering for a long time, his eyes suddenly opened. He took out 3 bags of holding and searched through them. Aside from Mai Liang's token, he also took out several mid-quality spirit stones. Shu Hao and Jie Yang were also very unlucky. Right after they killed Mai Liang, they encountered a bunch of wandering souls. Although they managed to escape, they didn't know why, but every time they encountered wandering souls, the wandering souls would go after them. Even if the wandering souls were chasing someone else, they would give up and chase after the 2 of them. One wandering soul even spat out half of the soul it was eating and jumped at the 2. With such special care, there was no way those 2 would last. They were quickly devoured by the wandering souls. Because they didn't have any time to look through Mai Liang's bag of holding, that at least meant that nothing was missing from it. After going through the 3 bags of holding, Wang Lin was very shocked. Whether it was spirit stones, magic treasures, or materials, you name it, and they had it. It has to be said that this was 50 years of work from the 2 of them. Just counting mid-quality spirit stones, there were more than 2,000 pieces between the 2 of them. Wang Lin held a spirit stone and remembered a formation that he had spent a lot of effort to learn when he was inside the world of decay, called the mysterious turtle shell destruction formation. This formation had no offensive ability, but it had really good defense. This was also one of the few formations that could move with the person who set it. This type of formation that could provide mobile protection required a lot of spirit stones. Wang Lin thought that once he gets some spirit stones, he should lay down a few of these formations. He calculated the time it would take for the transfer array to open, then crushed a spirit stone in his hand. He calmly dabbed his finger in the crushed spirit stone and drew a symbol in the air. He was completely focused on every stroke. Once he finished the symbol, he quickly sent out a piece of divine sense. The symbol faintly glowed and floated in the air. Then he crushed another spirit stone and drew another symbol. Each mid-quality spirit stone could draw one symbol, and Wang Lin had crushed 70 already. There were a few that failed. Although Wang Lin was very clear on the theoretical, when it came to doing it live, he still made some mistakes. Looking at the 49 symbols floating before him, Wang Lin couldn't help but sigh. This formation was simply too expensive. Before this, Wang Lin didn't have many mid-quality spirit stones, so even if he used all of his wealth, he wouldn't be able to lay down the formation. Wang Lin took out another spirit stone to make the eye of the formation. He waved his hand and the symbols landed on the spirit stone one by one. Every time a symbol landed on the spirit stone, it glowed once. After the 49 symbols landed on it, the spirit stone became crystal clear. Wang Lin reached out, and the formation SI spirit stone landed in his hand. He pointed at his forehead, and an invisible layer surrounded his body. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't even notice a trace of it. Shortly after, Wang Lin made another formation. The more he did it, the more he got used to it, and the less he failed. The second formation only took him 60 mid-quality spirit stones. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, the time for when the formation was going to open drew near. Everyone inside the transfer array was very nervous. They wished the formation would just open so they could leave this terrifying place. And in these few days, the collapse of the foreign battleground continued. Spatial rifts began to appear more and more often, and each time they did, they were larger than before. Large chunks of the foreign battleground began to collapse. The moment the transfer array opened, Wang Lin placed the last formation on himself. He stood up, stared at the transfer array with a serious expression. The last day of June, wishing for the like button for the VIDEO. A sweep of the like button for the VIDEO each month. The June ticket expires tonight at 12.